Last night, the Scouts just couldn't get it done on the road at Lorain County to take on the Ironmen. They had 2 runs in the second inning, but they didn't score again until the top half of the 9th inning. Lorain had 2 separate innings where they put 5 runs on the board, both in the 6th and 8th inning. The Scouts lost by a score of 12-3 last night for their 3rd loss of the season. Hi and low, and welcome to Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio, on the campus of Athletes in Action. I'm Lance Morris. Alongside me, my broadcast partner Terry Lash. We're bringing you live coverage of every single Xenia Scouts baseball game right here on our Google/YouTube Hangout. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Terry, we didn't think we were going to get this one in. It's been raining pretty much all day, but here we are starting a little after the designated start time.
Right, it's about 7:33 right now. We're about to have our first pitch, and up until about an hour ago, we exactly weren't sure what was happening. Lance, the team rolled up from Lorain County around 6:30, and they had a meeting right behind us here at the press box to say what time. They decided they'll try to get here at 7:30. So we'll keep you updated on the weather as it goes. Hopefully, we can get a full game of baseball in here. Like Lance mentioned, it's been raining all game long, so we're going to have to see.
Getting ready to start here. And Terry, who do we have coming up for the Lorain County Ironmen?
For the Ironmen, we have second baseman Jeff Edwards, designated hitter Cody Calloway, and left fielder Zach Zybert.
So those will be the same 3 coming up as it was yesterday for the Ironmen. They'll be playing the same spots in the field with the exception of Cody Calloway. He'll be the designated hitter for tonight's game. And also interesting to note, he's going to be wearing 51 today. Usually wears number 6, and the reason behind that as well, he simply forgot his jersey.
Leading off the top half of the first inning for the Lorain County Ironmen.
So it'll be Jeff Edwards leading it off for the Ironmen. He went 3 for 4 last night. Is hitting over 500 on the season, hitting .519 coming into the game. John Crawford on the mound for the Scouts. First pitch in there for a called strike 1. First pitch start time was 7:35. Next one to Edwards. Took a hack at that one. Fouled that one just off. Quickly 0-2.
Edwards came into tonight leading the league in batting average.
And the 0-2. Just a tad inside. Puts it to 1-2. Edwards coming into today, one of the top hitters in the entire league, the 1-2 pitch. Now it's hit towards center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. He's going to round first and stays over at first. So leadoff single from Edwards.
He had an unbelievable day yesterday, already starting off right so far here.
Calloway.
Now Cody Calloway coming up to the plate. Had a good day yesterday, went 2 for 5, had a broken bat single later on in the game.
Hey, it's whatever the fans want.
First pitch to Calloway. Just a bit outside, ball 1.
2 minutes, yeah.
1-0 to Calloway. Fouled that one off, evens it up at 1-1. Calloway, of course, product of Bowling Green State University, where both Terry and I attend, and Calloway splits his time between the Falcon baseball team and the Falcon football team, where he was the backup quarterback after starting quarterback Matt Johnson's injury. 1-1's in there on the outside corner for strike 2, puts it to 1-2. Jeff Edwards gets his lead off at first. And the 1-2 to Calloway. Inside, Wiley loses it, but Edwards will not try to advance, so Calloway will even up at 2-2. Now the 2-2 to Calloway. That one's fouled back. We'll try again at 2-2. Callaway registered at 6'2". Just finished his freshman year at BG, went to Grafton's Midview High School. And now the 3-2. Swung on and missed. Our first strikeout of the game for Crawford.
Crawford had a dominant day on the mound in his first appearance of the season. Gets that strikeout here. The second batter he's faced.
So now Zach Zybert coming up to the plate. Left fielder. Went 1 for 4 in last night's contest against these same Scouts. Edwards still over on first after the leadoff single. They'll check on him, but he's in there quickly. Edwards, one of the smaller guys in the entire league, comes in at just 5'5". First pitch to Zybert. Foul out of play.
Attention fans, all foul balls returned to the concession stand will be awarded with a piece of candy. Thank you.
0-1 the count to Zach Zybert, left fielder for the Ironmen. Now the 0-1. He'll foul that one down the first base line, puts it 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Zach Zybert, one of 2 guys in the starting lineup from Lee University. Now the 0-2. Hit on towards center field, and Levi Gilcrease will get back to that one in time for out number 1, and Edwards somehow got back to first in time. He thought that one was over Gilcrease's head.
Yeah, it was a well-hit ball to deep center field, but Levi stayed very composed, running back, putting that away. So what looks like a lot of danger just goes down as a simple flyout.
Nicole Nito coming up to the plate. Right fielder from Baldwin Wallace went 1 for 5 last night. Edwards with a nice lead off of first. 2 down here, top of the first. First one's outside for ball 1 to Nito. Now the 1-0. Outside again, pretty much the same location, puts it to 2-0.
Surprised I haven't seen a steal attempt yet from Jeff Edwards, as we have a new catcher today in Zach Wiley.
Last night's catcher Lincoln Reed not in the starting lineup today. Now the 2-0. Caught the outside corner, strike 1, puts it to 2-1. Two and 1 the count on Nito. Came into the day hitting .375. That one's hit over to Wyatt Hogan in left field. He'll get under that one for the final out of the inning. So after getting on with a leadoff single, Jeff Edwards will be stranded over on first base.
So quickly the Scouts put away the Ironmen, and it wasn't until about the 6th inning last night when things started to go awry. They gave up 5 runs in that 6th inning. It was a 2-2 ball game. The Scouts led for most of the contest. They seemed to have the advantage and the momentum, but that 6th inning burst things wide open, and then again in the 8th inning they put another 5 runs across the plate. Scouts got a last run in the top of the 9th, but 12-3 they fell. That was their biggest defeat of the season.
So now we're in between innings here in the first inning. Lorain failed to play any runs after the leadoff hit from Jeff Edwards. So that'll kick up his average a little bit higher as it needed to go any higher. Came in today hitting .519, near tops in the league.
Yeah, he's a stud over there, and he showed why so far this series. He's now 4 for 5 for a walk here in 2 games against the Scouts.
So now, Terry, as we get set for the bottom of the first inning, it's Chris McDonald on the hill for the Lorain County Ironmen. We saw him last night, but in a different role. He was playing first base, and boy, I have to say, one of the better two-way players we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, we were just talking to the broadcast person here for the Ironman, He actually had a better year at first base for Hillsdale College, where he plays his D2 college ball, same as Will Cruz and Joe Chasen of the Scouts. And now he's on the mound today, showing off his versatility. So far in the season, he has a 7.1 ERA. He is 0-1, has 2 appearances, started 1 game, has 6 and a third innings pitched. He's given up 5 earned runs, 4 walks, and has 7 strikeouts. So a guy that's willing to go at bat.
And you got to think Joe and Will are in there telling them exactly how this guy pitches, as they saw him all last year. But Terry getting ready to start this bottom half of the first. Who the Scouts have coming to the plate?
Same starting lineup as yesterday. Lee Solomon, the shortstop, will lead us off. Then Christian Binger, the second baseman, is in the 2 spot. And then Kyle Carnahan, the third baseman, started every game at third base this year. He's in the 3 hole.
Solomon steps up to the plate. First pitch to him from McDonald. He'll show bunt, pulls it back, but is in there for a strike anyway.
Scouts mightily struggled bunting the ball yesterday. Solomon himself had one that was popped up and caught right around the catcher spot.
The 0-1, he'll take a hack at that one, and that'll be fielded by McDonald. The pitcher will go over to first baseman Barron in time for the first out of the inning.
The second baseman, number 4, Christian Binger.
Christian Binger now coming up to the plate for the Scouts. Went 0 for 3 last night. Comes into the day hitting .231. And Terry, we talk about this just about every game, but first couple games a real struggle for Christian. Didn't have his first hit until Sunday against the Locos a few weeks ago.
And ever since that point, he's been playing much better.
First pitch to him in there for strike 1. Christian very patient at the plate, leads the team in walks. The 0-1 to him. That'll go down the third baseline, but foul, so quickly 0-2.
Tonight's game is the only game in Great Lakes League action. A lot of other games are being suspended due to the weather, but here with the field turf in Grady's Field, we're able to play ball.
The 0-2 to Binger. High and away for ball 1, puts it to 1-2. Binger from Southwest Baptist University in Tennessee, as he'll call time. And now the 1-2. Just a tad low, evens it up at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Outside again, leaving the count up. Or actually, it makes it 3-2. And that's after he got down 0-2 to start the at-bat. Now the 3-2. That'll be lined up the middle for a base hit. Around first, and he'll stay over at first. Base hit for Christian Binger.
Next up to the plate,
and finding those gaps out of the infield. That's what Christian Binger's been doing for about a week straight now. And right this time at the middle, right by McDonald on the mound. So a good start for Christian Binger.
So now Binger will be over at first. Kyle Carnahan comes up to the plate. Went 0 for 4 last night. Comes into the day hitting .200. First pitch to Carnahan. Pops one way high up. We'll see if that one will stay in play. That one just gets out of play, so it'll fall for strike 1.
Good chase that time by A.J. Klein as he got all the way towards left of the backstop and thought he was going to make a play on it, but just outside of territory there, and it's hit right by our bleachers.
So no balls, 1 strike to count to Kyle Carnahan. Now the 0-1 pitch. Low and in the dirt, evens up at 1-1. Carnahan, one half of the Ichabod duo from Washburn. Teammate David Gaunt on deck right behind him. 1-1 lined over to second baseman Edwards. Will flip it over for 1, and grounding in to the double play to end the inning will be Kyle Carnahan.
A 4-6-3 for Kyle, and grounded 2 double plays yesterday, so the double play streak continues here from the third baseman from Washburn.
So both teams not able to do anything to start off this game. It was the same story we saw last night before the Scouts were able to put 2 runs on the board in the top half of the second inning. We'll see if the same fate follows the Ironman today. So now Crawford will be back out for his second inning of work as his second start with the Scouts. He started a game last week, did very well. That was against the Southern Ohio Copperheads, in which the Scouts came out with the win. So as Crawford takes his couple warm-up pitches, Terry, who do the Ironmen have coming to the plate to start off the second inning?
It will be the 5-6-7 batter, starting off with Brooke Clark, the third baseman from Walsh University in Canton, then Nick Barron, the first baseman from Angelo State in San Angelo, Texas, one of 4 Angelo State Rams on the team, and then A.J. Klein, the catcher from Lafayette College.
So that's who we will have coming up to the plate for the Ironmen.
And Nick Barron, the third man in that side, he's only had 4 at-bats on the season. He's only played in 1 game, so relatively fresh, but doesn't always translate to bad, because we saw yesterday Elias Aguirre came to the game with no hits, and he absolutely killed it.
For the Ironmen, third baseman, number 20, Brooke Clark.
Now Brooke Clark will be coming up to the plate. He went 2 for 4 in last night's game against the Scouts. Now the first pitch to him. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. Now the 0-1. Curveball just misses, evens up at 1-1.
Yeah, great action on that one. It's cutting back into the zone. Did not miss that one by much.
Now the 1-1 to Clark. Took a hack at that one and missed, puts it to 1-2. One ball, 2 strike to Brooke Clark. Now the 1-2. That one misses outside, evens it up at 2-2.
His first of the year, John Crawford, 6 innings strong, got 7 strikeouts, did walk 5, but didn't allow any runs.
The 2-2. That one's hit high down the right field line. And Miles Wright slid near the wall, and he got the catch. Flew out of frame past the bullpen for the Ironmen, and a great catch from Miles Wright. That's got to be the 3rd game in a row he's had a spectacular catch.
Get the words out of my mouth. That's the 3rd game in a row we've seen Miles Wright with a great play out there in right field. Yesterday we saw the nice jumping catch, got on his pogo stick yesterday, and then before that another sliding one. So Miles Wright for the 3rd straight game, showing off that glove.
First pitch to Nick Barron is grounded over to Kyle Carnahan at 3rd. He'll go over to Cale Giddings for the out. This is Giddings' first start with the Scouts. Had an at-bat in each of the last 2 contests, but that was in a pinch-hitting role near the end of the games.
Now batting, catcher number 11, A.J. Clone.
And going back to that Miles Wright catch, we mentioned the Spider-Man fielder who records a web Jim gets, and that's been him for the last 3 out of 4 games.
It's going to have to take a whale of a play to take it away from him tonight after that one.
First pitch to A.J. Klein, misses for ball 1. Now the 1-0. Just missed off the outside corner, puts it to 2-0. Klein came in as a pinch hitter last night, went 0 for 2. And now the 2-0. Swung on and missed, puts it to 2-1.
Crawford in his first game had a lot of trouble commanding that strike zone. Threw a lot of walks the first couple innings, but found it tonight.
Now the 2-1. That one's popped high up in the air. Going to foul territory. And Giddings will get to that one for the final out of the inning. So down go the Ironmen 1-2-3 to start off the 2nd inning.
Scouts look completely in control there. Great pitching from John Crawford from Sinclair Community College, the Bowling Green State University transfer. Of course, he got a huge assist in the field from Miles Wright, the right fielder from St. Edward's College.
So now Chris McDonald will come back out for his 2nd inning of work for the Ironmen. Like we mentioned earlier, he played first base last night for the Ironmen. He struck out in his first at-bat, and he flew out to right field over towards Miles Wright, and then he had a hit in the 8th inning and came around to score a run. So now, Terry, we get set to start off the bottom of the 2nd inning, and who the Scouts have coming up to the plate.
We're going to start off with the designated hitter, David Gaunt from Washburn University, originally from Topeka, Kansas. Leads the league in home runs with 4, also has 13 RBIs on the year. Wyatt Hogan, the left fielder from Hendrix College, who was last night's player of the game, the only player on the Scouts to RBI in a run. And then Levi Gilcrease, who had our opening prayer to start off this game. He's a center fielder from Baylor. His older brother, Zach, recently joined the team on the coaching staff.
And Zach played here with the Scouts a few seasons ago. Just finished up down in Florida. And he was, of course, a teammate of Lincoln Reed, who, around these parts, it seems like he's been around here forever. He's in his 3rd season with the Scouts.
Old man Lincoln over there from Taylor University is a veteran on the Scouts team, to say the least.
Now batting.
So now David Gaunt will be coming up to the plate.
17, David Gaunt.
Playing the designated hitter role tonight, was the catcher last night. Or actually wasn't the catcher last night. So 2 games in a row he's been at DH.
2 twice in a row. It's nothing we haven't seen much this season from David.
First pitch to Gaunt. Inside for ball 1.
Lance, that one didn't miss him by much. I thought I might have got him there.
It's now the 1-0 to Gaunt. Pops that one up out of play, evens it up at 1-1. On the count to David Gaunt. And the 1-1 pitch. I'll foul that one out of play as well, so puts it to 1-2 to David Gaunt.
As we mentioned, McDonald going for his first win of the season. Yesterday's pitcher JT Perez went 8 innings strong, only giving up 3 hits.
Now the 1-2 to Gaunt. That one didn't miss by much, but nonetheless it's a ball, evens it up at 2-2. And now the 2-2. Lined over to Durham at shortstop. He'll go over to Barron at first for the out, first out of the inning.
And Shea Durham getting the start tonight. Not sure it was Cody Calloway yesterday. He had a couple errors in the field, including one to David Gaunt in the 2nd inning that led to him coming around to score.
Now Wyatt Hogan coming up to the plate, playing left field tonight. Got the start at first yesterday. First pitch to him is fouled out of play. Wyatt, of course, like you mentioned, had the only RBI last night. The other 2 runs came in off errors. Now the 0-1. That one's lined over towards short again. Go over to first. Got off the bag, but was able to tag Wyatt as he tried to slide first and get there in time, but he's tagged out for the 2nd out of the inning.
That play should be completely credited to Nick Barron, the first baseman for Angelo State, because the throw was off the mark. He was able to come off the bag and make the tag to the diving head first, Wyatt Hogan. And if he was unable to do that, Wyatt would be sitting on first base right now for a single or maybe an error, depending how it was scored.
First pitch to Levi Gilcrease, fouled out of play. Levi went 0-for-3 yesterday. Comes into the day hitting 209.
There were only 4 Scouts got hit in the ball game yesterday. One of those, Lincoln Reed, who is not in the starting lineup tonight.
And the other one was Jonathan Bravo, who's also not in the starting lineup. So half of the hits from last night not in the starting lineup. The 0-1 to Levi. Low and away, ball 1. Evens up at 1-1. Now the 1-1. Line back towards Durham again at short. He'll go over to first. And he's off the bag, so that'll be an error on that one from Durham, and that could have been a 2nd error, but last time Barron was able to bail him out.
And a good job by Levi Gilcrease running that one out, because
First
The first baseman
number
did
10,
get his foot back in
Kale
time.
Giddings.
Barron was able to tag it, but not before Barron got back to it. It was an errant throw, definitely deserving to be an error, but if it wasn't for Gilchrist's hustle and effort, I think he still might have been out.
Now Cale Giddings coming to the plate. This is his first start with the Scouts. It'll be just his third at-bat. They're going to check on Gilchrist over at first. He's in there in time. Gilchrist definitely with plenty of speed as we see him make plays from the outfield all the time, whether it's with his legs or with his arm.
Does have a pair of stolen bases on the season.
First pitch to Giddings in the dirt ball one.
Giddings goes to Lake Erie College. He's a member of the Storm. A lot of members of the Great Lakes League from Lake Erie College. Was an Akron transfer.
And they get Levi Gilchrist over at first. And he definitely didn't agree with that call. And his brother over there, the first base coach, didn't help him out in time, it appears.
Looks like he might have been sleeping a little bit. It was a great pickoff, and we have to give all the credit in the world to Chris McDonald on that one as he quickly moves over to his left, throws out Gilchrist at first, and there seemed like there was a bit of a delay before he got back to the bag. And it was a bang-bang play. First base ump says that he's out, so that's how the Scouts are going to go down. So yet again, unconventional as they get a runner on base, but 1-2-3. Second inning just like the first. And Cale Giddings will come back to the plate in the third inning.
So now Crawford out there for his third inning of work for the Scouts. It's done a pretty good job going through this lineup thus far. It's just allowed the one-hit Jeff Edwards to lead off the contest. And Terry, with that being said, getting ready to start the third inning. Who do the Ironmen have coming up to the plate?
It's going to be the 8-9-1 batters for the Lorain County Ironmen. We're going to start off with Elias Aguirre. He's from Angelo State University. Shea Durham, the shortstop from Lee University. Then we're back to the top with Jeff Edwards, who got a single back in the first inning. He's the second baseman from Valparaiso.
So Aguirre will be the first batter we have coming up for the Ironmen. We thank you for listening/watching our YouTube and Google Hangout. We bring you the live broadcast of the Xenia Scouts every single game here, whether we're at Grady's Field or everywhere else in the Great Lakes League. Now Elias Aguirre up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to Aguirre. Just missed on that one, ball one.
That one didn't miss by much. As I mentioned before, John Crawford had much more control on his pitches than he did in his first inning where he walked 5.
1-0 swung on and missed from Aguirre, puts the count to 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch to Aguirre. He shows bunt, pulls it back for ball 2. 2-1 now the count. And now the 2-1. Took another hack at that one and missed again. 2-2. Now the count to Aguirre.
And speed on that one from Crawford as he just blows it right by Aguirre. And it looks like he's already ready and rearing to go.
2-2 to Aguirre. Just fouled that one back. We'll try again at 2-2.
Crawford already with 1 strike on the day. Had 7 in his first outing. 7 of the 18 total outs he recorded in his 6 innings.
Now the 2-2. Got that one down the line towards Carnahan at third. He'll go over to first base in time for out number 1.
So another 5-3. It's the second one we've seen. Kyle's been tested on the hot corner a number of times this season and is routinely coming up with big play after big play.
Shea Durham up to the plate for the Ironmen. He did not play in last night's contest. First pitch to him. Fouled back.
He's batting .071 with 14 at-bats on the season. has 3 strikeouts.
For the non-math majors at home, that's 1 for 14 on the 0-1. That one will miss in the dirt, evens it up at 1-1. It's 1-1 the count to Durham, the other guy in the lineup from Lee University, the 1-1. That's the line towards shortstop, and a great catch from Lee Solomon. And Miles Wright might have to fight him for the web gen. A great diving catch.
Well, Miles is going to lose that if I lands because that was unbelievable. Springing into the air like the field turf was trampoline materials. Lee Solomon, the man has ups, and how did he hang on to the ball after coming crashing down to the earth? Just an unreal play. Might be the best we've seen all season.
Back to the top of the order, and Jeff Edwards. That one's lined towards center field. The Gilcrease will get under that one for the final out of the inning. So down go the Ironmen 1-2-3 for the second consecutive inning after a great catch from Lee Solomon over at short.
And now Crawford has retired 9 straight batters. He gave up the first single of the game to Edwards to start this one off, but ever since that point he's been in dominant fashion. So a second straight start we've seen from John Crawford where he looks in complete control.
Now Chris McDonald will get set for his third inning of work. Of course, mentioned he's out of Hillsdale College.
Talk about the weather forecast.
Okay.
Now it'll be
May I have your attention,
the bottom
please?
half of the
Today's
order
forecast
coming
allows a
up
chance of lightning in the area. In the
for
event
the
of lightning
Scouts.
strike
And
within 8 miles
Terry, who do we have
of
coming up for the
south
Scouts in this
south
bottom of the
blast
third?
on an airport.
We're at the bottom of the lineup with Kale Giddings, who'll be getting his third at-bat as a Xenia Scout. Doesn't have a hit yet on the season. Then we go to Zach Wiley, the catcher from Union University in Jackson, Tennessee, and Miles Wright, who had a nice catch earlier today. The right fielder from St. Edwards in Austin, Texas. He's batting .294 on the season.
Please see a member of the total athlete
Like we mentioned, the Scouts have a lot of guys that are injured or working off injuries. We thought Wiley was hurt. He mentioned something about his hand, the same hand he hurt this past season at Union, but he's nonetheless in the lineup today. Austin Orr, his Union teammate, battling shoulder troubles. First pitch to Giddings is lined towards Edwards at second. He'll go over to first in time for out number 1.
So first pitch swinging is Giddings.
Catcher number 24,
He put away as he still looks for his first hit of the year.
And Giddings has probably seen McDonald before as they play Hillsdale over at Lake Erie. First pitch to Wiley in there for strike 1. Wiley got to the plate yesterday but walked and scored one of the only runs for the Scouts.
And it was the only earned run for the Scouts.
Next one's fouled off down the first baseline. Quickly 0-2 to Zach Wiley, the catcher.
He's batting .211 on the year.
Now the 0-2. Got him looking, strike 3, and Wiley is not happy about that one.
I think he thought that one's a little bit outside, maybe a teeny bit high, but right there in that corner of the strike zone, and quickly the Scouts already down 2 batters here in the bottom of the third.
And now Miles, I said I was never going to bunt again, right up to the plate. That's what he told us before the game today. So we'll see if he stays true to his word.
I guess we will. Scouts trying to avoid going down 1-2-3 3 straight times.
First pitch to Miles, and he checked his swing and just fouled that one off. He definitely didn't look like he wanted to get a piece of that one, but he did anyway.
That one might have been a little bit high, but check swing foul. We'll never know.
Now the 0-1 to Miles. That one misses low. Ball 1-1. Now the count. Miles went 0 for 3 last night. .294 hitter on the season. And now the 1-1. The line that went foul down the third base line. Now 1-2 the count on Miles Wright.
And over the last 5 games, Miles has been one of the hottest hitters for their Scouts team. He's been hitting most of his balls towards the third base. Actually, had one that went off the corner. So he's been hitting ropes over there, the hot corner.
The The 1-2. Got him looking on that one. Strike 3. 2 backwards Ks for McDonald will end this bottom of the third.
So it came into the third inning with no strikeouts, and he has 2 in a row to end the third inning. And through 3, the Scouts have gone 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and again 1-2-3.
So after 3 innings of play, no score on the board for either side. Just 1 hit from each side. The Scouts' hit came from Christian Binger in the first inning, and Jeff Edwards had the first hit of the ball game in the top half of the first for the Ironmen.
Jeff Edwards 1 for 2 today, batting .500, and unbelievably that actually hurts his percentage as he came in batting .519. Just insane through 27 at-bats.
Drats. He got out one time. What are you going to do? Anyway, getting ready to start the 4th inning. John Crawford back out there for another inning of work for the Scouts, and Terry, who do the Ironmen, have coming to the plate to lead off the 4th inning.
Coming up for the Lorain County Ironmen will be Cody Calloway, the designated hitter. He struck out last time. Then Zach Zybert, the left fielder. He flew out to center on Levi Gilcrease. And then Cole Nito, the right fielder from Baldwin and Wallace. He flew out to left field and Wyatt Hogan. That ended the 1st inning.
So getting ready to start the 4th inning. Another inning of work for John Crawford in his 2nd start with the Scouts. Going to be Cody Calloway coming up to the plate, like we mentioned earlier, the Bowling Green State University product here for the Ironmen.
51, Cody Calloway.
And he's wearing 51 today. Wore 6 last night. He forgot his jersey at home. What are you going to do? First pitch to Calloway. Took a hack at that one and missed 0-1.
That one had some nice movement on it. I think it confused Calloway over there.
Calloway, like you mentioned, a backup quarterback for the Falcons this past season, is in line to be the 3rd quarterback in the depth chart this season. The 0-1. That one misses low, makes it 1-1. And like I mentioned earlier, he saw time at quarterback in the MAC title game. Also saw time against the School of North, the Toledo Rockets. That one is lined towards right field. That one will get down for a base hit right in front of Miles Wright out in right field. Callaway will be on first after the leadoff single.
So the 2nd hit of the day given up by John Crawford. In his first start, he only gave up 2 hits total, so we'll see how Crawford responds.
And Cale Giddings over at first, his younger brother actually committed to the Falcons, will be there this fall and will be on the team this coming spring. So maybe they'll have a chat about what's going to happen next spring for the Falcons. First pitch to Zybert just misses outside, ball 1. Zybert flew out to Levi Gilcrease in his first at-bat in the 1st inning.
Base hit to right. Fly ball.
That will be in the dirt. Wiley corrals that one. 2-0 the count. We haven't seen anyone run on Wiley yet. Saw plenty of action against Lincoln Reed behind the plate yesterday.
And Wiley with one of the better arms of the 3 catchers behind the plate.
Now the 2-0. That one misses inside, so 3-0 the count to Zybert. This will be the first time Crawford has let the count get to 3 balls. The 3-0. And there's strike 1. Makes it 3 balls, 1 strike.
Zybert was taking that one all the way, and then Crawford gives it to him right down the plate.
Callaway still over it. First 3-1 the count to Zybert. They'll check on Callaway. He'll be in there safely.
This game started at 7:30, late start for us because of the rain delay.
Now the 3-1. And that one will miss high and away, and he will walk his first batter of the game.
So this is the first time for either of these teams that a base runner has gotten a scoring position. Cody Callaway sits over there at second with no outs here in the top of the 4th. Dangerous predicament for the Scouts.
Callaway at second, Zybert on first. After the walk, Cole Nito now up to the plate. He flew out to Wyatt Hogan out in left, and Crawford's going to call time and get a quick chat with Zach Wiley behind the plate.
I just settle him down, make sure he's confident over there at the mound. And there's a great opportunity for a double play ball for the Baby Blues of the Xenia Scouts. I said today, have not lost yet here at Grady's Field.
First pitch to Nito. On the inside corner, strike one, and this is the first time he will have Zach Wiley catching him behind the plate. David Gaunt was the catcher in his first appearance. Now the 0-1. And that one's lined towards center field and caught and dropped by Binger. So they're going to go over to second for one. They're going to try and tag him out at third, and he got him. So an incidental double play, and they're going to try for a triple play, and they almost had a triple play on one of the weirdest sequences you will ever see. Christian Binger almost had a diving catch in short center field, just managed to drop the ball, so they go over to second for the quick one. Then he was on the move towards third, so they tag him out after he was not forced, then tried to get Nito trying to extend that one at second.
No, 1 second, Lance. It wasn't almost a triple play. Nito started at first. It was just a mess up by the umps. Don't think he realized that was a force out over there at second base. So they threw to second. Now they're getting the run out second. There didn't need to be that drama to end that play. Nito's still sitting there at first. But it is an unconventional double play. It'll be a 4-6-5 double play as Binger dropped it and throws to Solomon at second for the force out, which the umpires didn't originally catch, and then to Kyle Carnahan at third for that double play.
First pitch to Clark in there, or just misses for a ball. I thought that one was in there. But definitely a weird sequence of events. Next one inside for a ball. So 2-0 the count.
It's almost an unbelievable catch by Christian Binger, but who would have thought that him not being able to hold the ball would actually be a better result for the Scouts?
Now the 2-0. That one will miss low. Next one to Clark. And that one will miss, so ball for second walk of the game for John Crawford.
Now batting first baseman.
So yet again, runners on first and second now. The Scouts in a little bit better position this time, though, as they only need one more out. That was one thing Crawford was a magician with in his first game against the Copperheads. He'd get himself into trouble, but found a way to work his way out of it without giving up a run.
Now Nick Barron at the plate for the Ironmen. He'll line that one towards Kyle Carnahan at third, and he'll get under that one for the final out of the inning. But not before we had a little drama in that top half of the inning, but Scouts unconventionally found a way out of it. And like you mentioned, I don't think Christian would have wanted to have that play look exactly like it did, but nonetheless, you'll take the 2 outs.
And I don't know what's going on with the Scouts today, Lance. I don't know if they had some of MJ's secret stuff a la Space Jam, but they're just a little bit pep in their step as they have been jumping out of the park for some of these catches. We've seen Miles Wright with a diving catch, and then that unbelievable one from Lee Solomon. And then right there, Christian Binger didn't hold it in. Got a better result out of it, but still, I think that's the highest we've seen Christian Binger jump this season as well. So great defensive play from the Scouts, really helping out John Crawford's cause.
So now Chris McDonald getting set for his 4th inning of action here. Like we mentioned earlier, a two-way player from Hillsdale College. Got to start yesterday at first base and comes back today as the starting pitcher for the Ironmen. He is an imposing 6'5" on the mound, and he's still not the biggest pitcher that the Scouts have faced. They face a 6'7" pitcher from the Cincinnati Steam this past weekend.
And a lot of height here in the Great Lakes League, and we were told that McDonald's season at the plate at Hillsdale is actually better than his season on the mound. So not just a pitcher that can hit, but a guy that's definitely two all the way.
Scouts, the leadoff hitter, shortstop number 3.
So now back to the top of the order, and Lee Solomon grounded out to McDonald at the mound for his first out, but Terry, who's going to be coming up after him for the Scouts?
After Lee Solomon, Christian Binger, who singled his first time up, and then Kyle Carnahan, who hit into that double play.
First pitch to Solomon, a little low for ball 1. Solomon quickly calls time. Solomon, one of 3 players on the Scouts to have a home run. He's the only one not from Washburn. The one who was lying down the left field line, but foul, so that'll even up at 1-1.
Also the only player to lead off a game with a home run that we've seen all season long. A little more on Chris McDonald. He's from Livonia, Michigan. He went to Stevenson High School. He's going to his senior year.
1-1. He'll line that one over to Durham at shortstop. He'll go over to Barron at first for out number 1.
So Shea Durham definitely being
Second
tested
baseman,
over there
number
at
4,
shortstop.
Christian
He
Binger.
did have an error earlier today, but it seems like the Scouts again and again are hitting to today's replacement at short, Shea Durham.
Now Christian Binger will be up to the plate for the second time. Had a hit in the first inning. First pitch to him. That one's lined just down the third base line, but foul! Just barely foul. Just missed hitting the bag on that one for Christian Binger.
Never has a game of inches been more apropos than that situation, as it looked like it was going to stay on that line, walk the tightrope, but just falls off of it.
Springer back into the plate. No balls, 1 strike to him. Now the 0-1 pitch. That one will miss outside. Evens up at 1-1.
Christian only Scout with a hit so far in this game.
1-1. That'll be lined over to Durham at short. Go over to Barron once again for the out. So 2 times in a row they hit at Durham. 2 times he was able to get it over to first base in time.
Third baseman.
Now it's the
number
4th time of the
16,
game they've hit it, or it's actually 5th time of the game
Carnahan.
they hit over towards Durham. One of those resulted in an error, so he's definitely had his action. He's been involved in 6 of the 11 plays here in the field. Also was involved in that 4-6-3 from Kyle Carnahan's first time.
Carnahan now up to the plate. First one in there for a strike.
A little more on starting pitcher Chris McDonald. Had 26 and a third innings pitched this year at Hillsdale.
Carnahan will foul that one out of play, so quickly 0-2 to him. He grounded into a double play to end the first inning in his first step out of the game. Now the 0-2 to Carnahan. That one's lined in the center. That'll get down for a base hit. That'll be his first hit of the ball game in the second for the Scouts.
That's great news for Kyle Carnahan. It just dipped under the Mendoza line. It looks like he'll climb back above it after that single.
David Gaunt.
Second hit of the day for the Scouts.
We'll bring David Gaunt up to the plate. The other half of the Washburn duo. Carnahan is Washburn teammate over at first base after the base hit. We'll check on Carnahan. He's in there safely.
Remember, we did see a successful pickoff, I believe, like Gilcrease back in the second inning after he got on with an error.
First pitch to Gaunt. That one in at the knees for a strike. David Gaunt, already 4 home runs on the season, 13 RBIs. Now the 0-1. That one's popped high up in the air. That one will be in the infield. And Edwards will get under that one for the final out of the inning. So Carnahan will be stranded over on first base, and Scouts won't be able to get any runs across in the 4th inning. So after 4 innings of play, still 0-0. Nobody on the board quite yet.
So this has been a quick one. We're already through 4. Not even an hour into the ballgame, kind of like last night's affair, which was just a shade over 2 hours in total length. And it's a very similar game. Both teams have 2 hits. Neither team has advanced a runner to third base yet. The Ironmen were closest, as back in the last inning, on that strange double play ball, Zach Zybert almost got over to third, and Cody Calloway almost got over to third before he was tagged out, after Zybert was forced out at second. So, very defensive battle, and great pitching between both these 2 starters. John Crawford is still on the mound here going into the top of the fifth for the Scouts, and Chris McDonald from the Ironmen.
While we have a spare moment, I realized yesterday we had all the Joe Charbonneau-isms, and we just forgot one, Terry, and it's the best one.
Uh-oh.
How can we forget the best one?
I don't know, Lance. I don't even know what it is.
But it's the one we talked about off the air, so you know what it is. But now you get to hear a nice little story. He was in Mexico. This is, of course, Joe Charbonneau. He's an ex-Cleveland Indian. He won Rookie of the Year in 1980, and this is while he was in Mexico for an exhibition game on March 8th, 1980. He was stabbed with a penknife by a crazy fan. The guy who stabbed him was fined, get this, 50 pesos. For the people who don't know the conversion rate, that's not a whole lot. Charbonneau was quoted as saying, that's last night he's projected, we would think, to be the starter in our next game on Friday for Game 1. Still not sure who Game 2's starter would be.
Now it's all up in the air. For those of you who don't follow us on social media, the game tomorrow against the Grand Lake Mariners is canceled as Montgomery Field in Salina, Ohio is going to be flooded. So we're going to move it to a doubleheader here on Friday starting at 4:05. They're going to play a 7-inning game, then a 9-inning game right here at Grady's Field against the Mariners. And then moving on the schedule to July and the 16th and 17th. The 16th originally scheduled for a home game. Those will be 2 road games when the Scouts finally travel to Salina to take on the Mariners. That's towards the end of the season. So a doubleheader on Friday, Scouts off on Saturday, and then a doubleheader on Sunday on the road in Strongsville, Ohio to take on the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. So double baseball action here 2 of the next 3 days.
So now Wyatt Hogan will come up to the plate to lead off this bottom of the 5th for the Scouts. First pitch to him, in there for strike 1.
Hogan's first time up. He hit over there to Shea Durham at shortstop to ground up.
Now the 0-1. No line that one down the third base line, but foul. So quickly 0-2 to Hogan. Hogan from Hendrix College in Arkansas. He is originally from California in the 0-2. And that one's hit down the foul line. That one will fly out of play. So we'll try once again at 1-2.
Yeah, and Wyatt with a great game last night. Went 1 for 3 with the RBI double. Also was hit by a pitch.
The 0-2. That one's hit down the first base line, but that one will go foul as well. That one wasn't fouled by too much. Got a nice piece of that one. Just needs to straighten that out.
And Hendrix College, a bit of a pipeline here for the Xenia Scouts as Colin Raddick back in 2012 set the batting average record.
The 0-2. He'll leave that one alone upstairs. Puts it to 1-2.
And Raddick would go on to be drafted in the MLB draft. And from Hendrix College, a D3 school, Wyatt was telling about us back in the game against the Spikes. A great accomplishment.
1-2 to Hogan. Then he'll go down the third base line. Just foul once again. So he's just a little bit off, not off by too much against Chris McDonald.
You got to think, it's a great accomplishment for anyone, whatever college you go to, but from a D3 school, very impressive to be drafted. So something that really hit home for Wyatt Hogan.
Now the 1-2. And we fouled off once again. Wyatt doing a great job getting pieces of the ball now. Just has to get the whole thing.
Remember a couple games ago against the Cincinnati Steam down in Cincinnati, we saw a 16 pitch at bat. Don't think we'll see that here, but it's been a great job by Wyatt fighting for his life here in the bottom of the 5th.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Hogan, and the pitch swung on and missed, so wasn't able to get any of that one to stay alive, and that'll be another strikeout for McDonald. That'll be his second of the game. Actually, his third of the game, excuse me.
Yep, that'll be his third of the game. That ties John Crawford, who has 3 of his own. So a couple hits given up by both these pitchers and 3 strikeouts apiece.
Levi Gilcrease up to the plate. The first one caught the outside corner, strike 1. Now the 0-1, he'll show bunt, but that one will go down foul. So now 0-2 to Levi.
And the bunting woes are continuing for the Scouts team. One area the Scouts have kind of struggled with this year is laying down bunts.
I feel like the Scouts haven't laid down a really good one since Saturday. Now the 0-2. That'll be grounded back towards McDonald at the mound. He'll flip it over to Barron for the second out of the inning.
McDonald with a quick glove, showing that he has experience in the field as well, like we saw him yesterday at first base where he got a lot of action. Quickly hitting that comebacker, batting down off his mitt and throwing over to first. So, again, 2 down for the Scouts, who have gone down 1, 2, 3, except for the last inning where they got 4 batters to the plate.
First pitch to Giddings will miss for ball 1. Now the 1-0. One's line down the third base line. That'll be fielded by Clark. We'll go over to Barron at first for the final out of the 5th inning. So down go the Scouts 1, 2, 3. Still zeros on the board after 5.
Through 5 innings, only once have the Scouts not gone down 1, 2, 3. They got 4 batters to the plate in the 4th inning. So only 16 batters faced so far. For Chris McDonald, remember the Scouts had such struggles with the bat yesterday. Only got 4 hits through 9 innings. Only 2 so far here through 5. Luckily today, Ironmen have been struggling about as much. Only 2 hits themselves here through 5. So it's been a pitcher's duel between John Crawford from Sinclair Community College right down the road in Dayton, the Bowling Green transfer, and Chris McDonald, the 2-way player from Hillsdale College, Hillsdale, Michigan. Michigan on the start of the first one today, dominant on the mound as we go to the 6th with blue skies here. And as the playing goes from left to right on your computer screens over top of Grady's field.
Crawford getting set for another inning of work here for the Scouts. He is getting ready to start the 6th inning, and Terry, who do the Ironmen, have coming up to the plate.
For the Lorain County Ironmen, we're going to start off with Jeff Edwards, who's 1 for 2 today. Came in batting .519 last time. On the first pitch, he flew out to Levi Gilcrease in center. Then Cody Calloway, he got on with a single to start off the top of the 4th inning. He was thrown out at 3rd by Lee Solomon on that crazy 4-6-5 double play. And then Zach Zybert, who was forced down on that double play, he walked.
Baseman number 1, Jeff Edwards.
So Edwards will come back up to the plate. This will be his 3rd at bat. Got a hit way back in the 1st inning and then flew out to Gilcrease in center in the 3rd inning. Now the first pitch to Edwards. Breaking pitch in there for strike 1.
What curve did John Crawford had on that ball? Started way outside the strike zone, broke it back in. Very impressive.
Now the 0-1. That will hit off the top part above our press box and will somehow stay in play, but it's count to 0-2 to Edwards.
And it was the 6th inning. It was the bottom 6 yesterday in Lorain County where the Ironman really broke free and put 5 runs across the plate.
Now the 0-2. That one's fouled back, so we'll try again at 0-2.
Crawford working on that 4th strikeout of the game. Pitched 6 innings in his first appearance. Looks like he might be able to go a little further tonight, but we do see some activity in the bullpen.
0-2 will check his swing. That one just misses. But still 1-2.
Looks like Joey Levitt's working out in the bullpen.
Now the 1-2. Edwards will foul that one. We'll try again at 1-2. Edwards, of course, came in today hitting .519. Now the 1-2. That one's hit towards center field. That one's going to get off of the wall, and that'll go out of play for a ground rule double. First time we've seen a ground rule double here at Grady's Field.
And it's the first extra base hit of the game. That's just a credit to Jeff Edwards and his unbelievable hitting. The Crusader from Valparaiso now improving on that .519 average as he's 2 for 3 today. He just works so hard. He gets down the count, but it's just such a challenge to get him out. So now the Ironman definitely going to try to get him home to get the first run of the game. Probably see some small ball here.
Now Cody Calloway up to the plate. First pitch to him. Took a big swing at that one and missed. 1-1. 0-1 the count to Callaway. Edwards on second after the ground rule double. Now the 0-1. In there, called strike 2, 0-2 to Cody Callaway.
This would be big here because then you couldn't advance Edwards from second to third without getting 2 outs. If you could get a strikeout here, then a sacrifice after the first sacrifice would end the inning.
And now the 0-2, and they'll call time before he threw that one, even though he was already in his movement.
A little late on that one, and you have to think Crawford checked over second so much because Jeff Edwards has so much speed over there at second base. I don't know if they would try to test Zach Wiley at the plate. He only has 1 stolen base this season, but we've seen his speed. He's been caught stealing twice, including once yesterday from Lincoln Reed.
Now the 0-2. That one he fouled out of play. We'll do it again at 0-2.
Joey Levitt in the pen right now. He has 5 appearances on the season.
1-2 the count to Cody Callaway. Jeff Edwards still over there at second. Now the 0-2. I want to fly out of play once again.
Back to Joey Levitt in the pen. He has 4 pitching appearances. He has 1 base running appearance. That was right here at Grady's Field against the Lima Locos last Sunday when he represented the tying run and that come from behind 6-5 victory in the bottom of the 9th.
One, two to Callaway. The pitch. He'll check his swing, and that one just misses inside, puts it to 1-2.
Scout faithful in attendance definitely thought they caught the inside corner. Very close, but a good eye from Callaway.
1-2 the count to Callaway. Crawford will come to a set. He'll look at Edwards at second. And the 1-2. Just missed again. Evens it up at 2-2.
And you see the exasperated shrug and sigh over the Malcolm Crawford. Wondering, what do I got to do to get that call third strike?
And now the 2-2. That one misses low and in the dirt. Puts it to a full count, 3-2.
So another batter that has worked all the way back. We saw it with Jeff Edwards. Going down 0-2 quickly was Callaway, and now back to a full count.
First full count of the game for Crawford. Now the 3-2. That one's in the dirt, and he'll walk Cody Callaway. He'll put runners on first and second. Nobody down here. Top of the 6th.
And it's a very similar situation to what we saw in the top of the 4th inning when Cody Callaway got on with a single. Then a walk to Zybert. Had runners on first and second with no outs either. Looks like we're going to have a meeting at the mound.
Coach Cates heading over to the mound to talk with John Crawford and catcher Zach Wiley. As you mentioned, Joey Levitt out in the bullpen warming you up, ready to come into the game if need be. And it appears they're going to stay with Crawford at least a little longer as they're appearing to be having a conversation.
Levitt's last outing was in that 8-7 victory on Saturday against the Steam, where he went 1 1/3 innings pitched, struggled a little bit, gave up 3 earned runs in that 1 1/3. It was the first time in 4 appearances that he gave up any runs. Walked a batter, had a couple of strikeouts, gave up 3 hits. He's also credited with a win back on June 5th against the Lake Erie Monarchs. That was the second game of the season.
Now Wiley and Crawford just finishing their own meeting out on the mound. Edwards on second, Callaway on first. We're here in the top half of the sixth. There's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. Now Zach Zybert will come up to the plate for the Ironmen.
Last time the situation that 4-6-5 double play got the Scouts out of some trouble.
First pitch to Zybert. And that one's popped up towards center fielder Levi Gilcrease, and he'll get back to that one in time for the out. Edwards will tag from second. Callaway will stay at first, so that'll put runners in the corners now with one down, keeping the double play ball in effect.
So the sac fly from Zybert puts Edwards from second to third. First time a player for either team has reached third base. But that does set up a double play ball to end the inning with a force at second and first.
Cole Nito now up to the plate for the Ironmen. One down here, top of the sixth, runners in the corners. Edwards on third, Callaway on first. First pitch to him. Up high, ball one. Now the 1-0. One misses outside. Wiley did a good job staying in front of that one, but it puts the count to 2 balls, no strikes.
You're right. If Wiley doesn't get in front of that one that was way to his right and hitting the deep backstop here at Grady's Field, and Jeff Edwards is strolling across the plate for the first run of the game.
Now the 2-0. That one's popped high up in the air. That'll go into foul ground, and Giddings will get under that one for the second out of the inning, a much-needed out.
And that's about as great of a result you can expect for John Crawford because neither of the runners get to advance. Now 2 outs down. Doesn't really matter what happens over there at third base with Jeff Edwards if they can just get the runner at the plate. Brooke Clark out.
Brooke Clark now coming up to the plate from Walsh University. Still runners at the corners, 2 down, top of the sixth, still zeros on the board. First pitch to him outside, ball one.
That one cut outside. Had a lot of heat on it as well.
Now the 1-0. Going in the dirt again, 2-0 the count.
Crawford with 3 walks on the day. Had 5 in his win against the Copperheads here last Thursday. We could go from tomorrow.
Now the 2-0, that's lined over to Solomon at shortstop, and he'll get under that one for the final out of the inning. So Crawford lets the first 2 guys reach base, but will strand 2 of them at the corners. Still zeros across the board.
I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher get in as much trouble as John Crawford gets himself into and finds a way to work himself out of it. Now through 6 innings tonight with no earned runs, just like his first performance. I don't know if that's going to end his day. We've seen Joey Levitt in the pen the last 2 innings. So you got to imagine that you think a switch is incoming in the top of the 7th. But through 6 innings pitched, Crawford has 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 hits. So trades across the board. But more importantly, zilch earned runs here.
So Chris McDonald of Lorain County Ironmen getting set for another inning of work here in the 6th inning. He, like John Crawford, has not allowed a run to score. Has only allowed 2 hits so far, one off the bat of Christian Binger in the first, the other off the bat of Kyle Carnahan in the 4th.
Coming up for the side for the Xenia Scouts will be the 8-9-1 hitters. Zach Wiley struck out looking last time. Miles Wright also struck out looking. Both of those back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Then we go to the top of the lineup for the 3rd time, and Lee Solomon, who's over 2 today. He grounded out 2 short and Shea Duran last time.
So Zach Wiley coming up to play, like you mentioned, Struck out in his first at bat in the third inning. First pitch to Wiley. Caught the outside corner. Strike number 1.
Zach Wiley didn't like that call. He thought it was outside. One of the most animated players on the team.
Now the 0-1. That one's low in the dirt. Ball 1 evens up at 1 apiece. Down working quickly, and now the 1-1. Line down towards Clark at third. Go over to Barron at first in time for out number 1.
Right fielder number 2.
We've seen a lot of ground outs towards that left side of the infield. Usually they've been towards Durham at short, but Clark getting in on the action on that one.
Scouts really haven't put many balls in the air. It's just been a lot of grounders in the infield to put them away.
Now Miles Wright coming up to the plate. He struck out looking in his last at bat. First pitch to him. Caught the outside corner. Strike 1. Same approach as we saw towards Zach Wiley going after the outside corner. Now the 0-1. Caught the inside corner on that one. 0-2 quickly on Miles Wright.
Once now that I look at it, there hasn't been a single fly out to the outfield this entire game for the Scouts.
0-2 to Miles Wright on the pitch. Swung and missed at that one. Miles Wright goes down and strikes for the second time today.
And Chris McDonald looks in complete control. Just got his 4th strikeout of the game. It's only given up 2 hits, and it's 5 2/3 here. Still hasn't given up that many pitches. Wondering if they're going to send him back for the 7th.
First pitch to Solomon, just a tad outside. Ball 1 to him.
Came in the game batting .345. He's good for 2nd on the team.
Next one will be just foul. That one hit off Solomon, I think.
And got off his foot. Off of that Nike swoosh on his cleats.
So 1-1 to Solomon. He grounded out in both of his at-bats. One time to McDonald, the other time to Durham over at short. Now the 1-1 that's popped up, that'll fly out of play. Puts count at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yes.
Now the 1-2 to Solomon. Check swing. That one flies out of play. We'll try again at 1-2.
Donald's been working pretty fast on the mound. 6'5" righty. It's a 5'10" Solomon.
Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for McDonald. That'd be his 5th of the game.
And he took everything off of that sinker there, Lance. That one dropped all the way from the top to the bottom of the zone. And Chris McDonald has just been nothing short of spectacular. So 2 great pitching performances in consecutive days. The Lorain County Ironmen, JT Perez yesterday did awesome with 8 innings pitched. Only gave up 3 hits in those 8 innings. He was only able to get 1 strikeout, walked a couple of batters, but gave up only 2 runs. Neither of those earned. So 8 innings of unearned ball yesterday in the win for JT Perez. And then you come back today, 6 innings strong from Chris McDonald so far. And the Lorain County Ironmen, I think it's safe to say, have had the best pitching performances we've seen this season against the Scouts, Lance.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And we're going to now have a new pitcher for your Xenia Scouts. It'll be Joey Levitt coming into the game. Like we mentioned earlier, has seen work in 4 other contests, has 1 win on the season. That was back in the 2nd game of the season against the Lake Erie Monarchs up in Flat Rock, Michigan.
Joey Levitt. What number? 8. 8, thank you.
And now, Terry, we're getting set to start the top of the 7th. And who do Scouts have coming up?
Coming up for the Xenia Scouts will be, coming up for Lorain County Ironmen will be Nick Barron, the first baseman, AJ Klein, the catcher, and Elias Aguirre, the center fielder.
Number 37, Nick Barron.
So Nick Barron up to the plate. First pitch to him, a swinging strike. A 1 to Barron, and the pitch was way late on that one, 0-2 to count.
So Levitt working quickly here in the top of the 7th.
Now the 0-2. Outside in the dirt, 1-2, now the count.
Yeah, trying again, chase that one.
And now the 1-2. That one's hit high in the air towards center field. Levi Gilcrease will get under that one for the first out of the inning.
And how the Scouts haven't got a single hit to the outfield. Seems like Levi Gilcrease has been making plays non-stop over there in center as he puts another one away.
Now A.J. Klein up to the plate for the Ironmen. So for 2 on the day with 1 strikeout. First pitch to him. Breaking pitch didn't break enough. Ball 1.
Joey Levitt from Cypress College in California. His dad's a Minnesota Twin Scout.
Once the 1-0 swung on and missed, evens up at 1-1. And one of our favorite tidbits is we had a best athlete draft in one of our vans, and Joey's first pick, Joe Mauer of the Twins. 1-1 is flied out towards center. Levi Gilcrease will get under that one as well for the second out of the inning.
So Joey Levitt picking up right where John Crawford left off, gets his first 2 batters down. This year we've seen Joey go 2 innings, 3 innings, 2 innings, and 1 1/3. You have to thank Coach Cates, hoping he can get the rest of the game out of Joey. If not, probably Joe chasing to close it out.
Last Squire to the plate. First pitch to him. Catches the outside corner. Strike 1. He's one of 2 Angelo State University players in this lineup, along with Nick Barron, who led off the inning.
Yeah, 4 Angelo State Rams on the team.
The 0-1 is hit far towards left field. And Wyatt Hogan will get under that one for the final out of the inning. That one looked pretty good off the bat, but Wyatt was able to get under that one for the final out of the inning as the Ironmen go down 1-2-3.
Grady's fields 397 to center, about 327 to left, and 319 to right. Dead right, that is. So you're going to have to get a little more mustard under that one if you're going to want to take Joey Levitt deep. So quickly to recap, John Crawford is through 6 innings. He had 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 hits, and 0 earned runs. His second straight performance where he went 6 innings and didn't give up a single run. Unfortunately for him so far, Scouts have not been on the board themselves.
Scouts getting set to go to the plate. It was now the bottom of the 7th inning. Still zeros across the board from both sides. Ironmen have 3 hits on the day with 1 error. Scouts just 2 hits on the board, one coming from Christian Binger, the other one from Kyle Carnahan. Luckily for the Scouts, Christian Binger will lead off the inning, and Terry, who's going to be after him?
After Christian Binger, the second baseman from Southwest Baptist in Missouri, is going to be Kyle Carnahan, the third baseman from Washburn. He is 1 for 2 today. He had a single last time, one of only 2 hits for the Scouts this game. Binger, the other one. And then David Gaunt, the designated hitter. Kyle Carnahan's a Washburn teammate, and he's 0 for 2 today. Last time he flew out on a high pop-up to second. Chris McDonald so far today has only thrown 64 pitches through 6 innings, so he has a lot of room to work with as we go to the 7th. You know, we saw JT Perez yesterday go 8. Might see something similar from McDonald if the Scouts can't get to him.
Second baseman, number 4.
So it'll be Christian Binger up to the plate. Like we said earlier, had a hit in the opening inning for the Scouts. Grounded out in the 4th inning towards Durham at short. Now the first pitch to Binger. Outside, ball 1.
As you mentioned, McDonald was a starter this year at Hillsdale. Pitched 26 in the 3rd inning, so he's used to going deep.
The 1-0. That one's a tad low. 2-0 the count to Christian.
Christian looking for that 9th walk on the season.
Now the 2-0. Outside corner, strike 1, 2-1 to Christian Binger. Now 2-1. Now it's fouled into the netting in front of us, evens it up at 2 apiece.
Dark blue sky is an ominous setting here at Grady's.
And Christian Binger will go down on strikes, chasing an outside breaking pitch. That'll be the 6th strikeout of the game for McDonald, his 3rd in a row.
It's in a strict contrast to what we saw last night, with JT Perez only had 1 strikeout in the game.
This pitch to Carnahan fouled back into the mesh netting in front of us for strike 1.
As McDonald has gone right at the Scouts and has been successful at sitting him down now with number 6.
Now the 0-1. Taken on the inside. Nice fastball in the inside part of the plate for McDonald, but it just misses. Now the 1-1. Fouled back in front of us again. Puts the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, two to Carnahan, who had a hit in the 4th inning. Pitch will be low outside. Evens it up at 2 apiece. And now the 2-2. That one misses inside, and actually they're going to say that hit him. So that'll be the 5th time Carnahan's hit by a pitch, and kind of like we saw with Miles the other day, that one looked like it barely touched him.
And a hit is a hit, so the Boulder is on the move again, rolling towards first base. The 5th time this season he's been hit. Well, the 1st on the team. So back-to-back times at the plate, Carnahan has got on first.
So that'll bring up the other Ichabod to the plate, and David Gaunt. First pitch to him. Line down the third base line, and Clark can't corral that one. A very hard hit ball. That would put the Washburn Ichabods both on the base paths. Carnahan at second, David Gaunt at first.
Believe it or not, this will be the first time today that the Scouts have 2 men on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Maybe we see some signs of fatigue from Chris McDonald.
I think they're going to rule that one a hit from David Gaunt. That one was a hard play either way, and that one was hit right at Clark down at 3rd.
And definitely a hit. That was on our road towards Clark. He would have to make an unbelievable play to stop that one.
First pitch to Wyatt Hogan. He'll fly that one out of play.
After going 1 for 3 with an RBI and a hit by a pitch yesterday, Wyatt is over 2 tonight. Struck out last time to McDonald, one of his 6 strikeouts.
So runners on first and second for the Scouts. The 0-1 to Hogan. That one's lined up the middle, and that's a great stop there from Edwards. We'll go to second for 1 and over to first for the next out, and that'll put down the Scouts in the bottom of the 7th on a great stop there from Edwards.
Yeah, a diving stop and a bare hand catch from Shea Durham. Throws to the first in flawless motion. Just a perfect play over there by the shortstop, Shea Durham. He's had his struggles tonight, but was Jeter-esque on that one. And that's going to sit the Scouts on an inning double play, but you just got to give a nice hat tip to Shea Durham over there because he made that play happen.
So the hit from Gaunt will go to waste as the Scouts will strand him over on 3rd. We'll see Joey Levitt out there once again for the Scouts. This will be his 2nd inning of work. Came in last inning in relief of Crawford.
And it does look like we have some activity in the bullpen. We'll see what's going on over there and update you as soon as we find out. Looks like Ben Aldridge is going to the pen.
And maybe with the fact that with the game being pushed back tomorrow, they could go for an inning of work out of him if need be. We would think, slated to start game 1 on Friday.
I have no idea, Lance.
We would think at least.
He started last time, but it was Seth Hallmark who got the start against Lima Locos in that 4-man slot in the 5-man pitching rotation. Dylan Donnelly in the 5 spot. And I talked to Coach Casey. I don't think there's anyone really set there.
First pitch to Shea Durham, inside ball 1. It'll be Jeff Edwards and Cody Calloway after him. That one swung on the outside and missed. 1-1 the count to Durham.
Durham 0 for 2. This game's flown out both times. Last time to foul territory. Cale Giddings.
1-1 misses on the inside part of the plate. 2-1 now the count. Now the 2-1 pitch. Checked his swing, and they're going to say he didn't go around. I thought that one was a strike anyway, but...
I agree, Lance. I thought that one was right down the plate, or at least outside corner, but it's going to go to 3-1 now.
3-1 to Durham, and the pitch. That one's lined back with the middle. Levitt tried to get to that one. Solomon does, but he'll mishandle that one.
I think that should be rolled an infield single. Or they're going to roll an error here. It's going to be an error on Solomon, so it'll be the first error of the game for the Scouts.
Now batting second baseman, number 1, Jeff Edwards.
Shea Durham got on with that error. We saw him picked it up, but couldn't corral it in his glove. The exchange from his glove to his hand was fumbled.
Edwards now at the plate. Breaking pitch in there for strike 1 from Levitt. Edwards with 2 hits on the game. Had a ground rule double back in the 6th. Now the 0-1. Up high, ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now to Jeff Edwards.
And to remember, only 5 feet 5 inches tall, Jeff Edwards' strike zone is a lot smaller than most batters that Levitt's going to face.
And now the 1-1. Lined over to Binger at second. He'll go over to Solomon for 1. And back over to Giddings in time for the double play. Great play there to get 2 outs on the board.
The 4-6-3 double play, and Lee Solomon gets redemption as after that error to put on Shea Durham, he not only steps on the bag to force it out, but throws over to first to get out Jeff Edwards, who's now 2 for 4 in the game. And Joey Levitt's out of the jam.
That'll bring up BG Falcon Cody Calloway. First pitch to him. Line towards Carnahan over at third. We'll get that one over Giddings in time for the final out of the inning. So quick work made after the double play for the Scouts. Still zeros across the board after 7.5.
And that's a battle of attrition here. It's trench battle as who's going to budge first. Is it going to be the Scouts or is it going to be the Ironmen going to the bottom 8th? Someone needs to get on the board. As we look at the beautiful dark blue backdrop here above the trees at Grady's Field at the AIA Sports Complex, we want to remind everyone on Tuesday, June 23rd, we'll have Reds minor league event, a family night here at Grady's Field where a bunch of young campers will be coming in. They'll get to stand on the field with the players, be running around the bases. So a great night to come out and support the family. And also July 2nd, another family night here at the AIA Sports Complex where we'll be playing Despicable Me 2 after the game. During the game, we'll have 3-on-3 basketball tournaments and a scavenger hunt. Also during the competition between the Scouts and the Joes. So it's going to be really exciting action here on July 2nd. Actually, that game will be against the Monarchs. So come on out, support your Scouts on both the 23rd and the 2nd.
Now getting set for the bottom of the 8th here at Grady's Field. And Terry, who do the Scouts have coming up to the plate?
Coming out for the Scouts to face Chris McDonald. His 8th inning action will be Levi Gilcrease. He's 0 for 2, got on with an error back in the 2nd. Then Cale Giddings, who's 0 for 2, gone 4-3, then 5-3, grounded out to third last time. And then Zach Wiley, the catcher, he grounded to third as well, his last plate appearance.
First pitch to Gilcrease. Fly towards center field. McGuire will get under that one for the first out of the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And that's the first pitch that was hit to the outfield on the fly today from the Scouts. But it goes down as an out regardless.
Cale Giddings coming up to the plate now for the Scouts. First start of the year. He grounded out in each of his first 2 plate appearances. First pitch to him. Inside, ball 1.
That one was really close to nipping Giddings maybe on the elbow. We did see Kyle Carnahan get hit last inning.
Now the 1-0 is lined for a base hit right past the shortstop Durham. So that'll be the first hit of the season for Cale Giddings.
No, it's like Cale Giddings has either friends or family in
The
attendance.
catcher, number
Cale
24,
Giddings
Zach
with a nice little
Wiley.
crowd gets the fourth hit of the ball game for the Scouts. And now a runner on first base. That's going to bring up Zach Wiley.
Yeah, Giddings' mom, dad, and brother all in attendance here for his first start of the season. So now Wiley up to the plate. That one will get away from Klein behind the plate, and Giddings will advance on the passed ball.
Cale Giddings at 6'3", 245. Not the nibblest guy on the team, but he gets the second there. So the big man tumbles his way to second and getting in scoring position. Only second Scout that's been in scoring position of the day.
And now it looks like we're gonna have a pinch runner for him, unless they're just talking to Zach. Looks like we're gonna have a pinch runner as he's going to the umpire to pull out his scorecard. Don't know who they'd have run. Austin or not, maybe Bravo.
Maybe Jonathan Bravo.
But then they would need Lincoln to come in and play first.
It's a good point. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Maybe they're getting Lincoln. Maybe they'll throw a pitcher out there and they'll substitute next inning. Who knows what's happening? And it looks like Taylor Hargrove is going over there to the pen. Maybe he's asking one of those three pitchers over there if anyone wants to run. We did see Joey Levitt come in to pinch run before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. And it looks like it's going to be Thomas Wanning. We will see for the second time this season a pitcher coming out to run. Thomas Wanning, one of the most athletic guys on the team.
That's an understatement, I think. We're talking about a guy who was very close to qualifying for the Olympics as a skier.
And Thomas Wanning, don't know how much base running experience he has. The pitcher from Xavier gets on base pass for the first time this year, takes his stride, looks very confident in doing so. He represents the go-ahead run at second.
1-0 to Wiley, just misses. 2-0 the count. So like you mentioned, second time we'll see a pinch run for the Scouts. I think they probably would have went to Joey if he wasn't on the mound already.
And I think Lincoln Reed would be coming over to first base. Unless they move Jonathan Bravo to left field and Wyatt to first.
Exactly what I was about to say.
So you have to stay with us, folks, to see what happens.
2-0 to Wiley. That one's popped up out of play. Yep, that's going to get out of play. Barron made a move like he thought that one was going to stay in play.
Well, there's just so much territory between first base and out of play and the dugout over there from the Ironmen, so there's a lot of room to be had, but that one's all the way outside of the park foul.
2-1 to Zach Wiley. Thomas Wanning over on second. Not used to saying that. Now the 2-1. Just missed outside. Puts the count to 3-1 to Zach Wiley.
And Chris McDonald has pitched 7 1/3 so far. He's had 6 strikeouts, given up 4 hits, has no runs. The play that got Giddings from first to second was a little wild pitch before he was replaced by Wanning.
Now the 3-1. And that one's grounded past McDonald at the plate. And they're going to get Zach Wiley over at first. Not the fleetest of foot. Had that been just about anyone else on the Scouts, I think he would have been safe over there.
But we have to give another hat tip to Shea Durham, who barehanded that one, charging to throw out Wiley at first base. So 2 innings in a row, we've seen a barehanded play by Shea Durham. His right hand must be covered in stickum right now for him to just palm those balls before he throws the first, and now 2 down, but does advance Wanning to third.
So Wanning over at third, 2 down. Miles Wright up to the plate. He struck out in each of his first 2 plate appearances today. First pitch to him. That one will be lined foul out of play. So 0-1 the count to Miles Wright. Thomas Wanning, a relief pitcher, over on third base in place of Cale Giddings. The 0-1. And that's lined over towards Durham at short. He'll go over to first in time for the final out of the inning. So they get Wanning all the way over to third, but aren't able to plate him home. So after 8 innings of play, still zeros across the board between the Ironmen and the Scouts.
Now it looks like it's going to be Lincoln Reed coming out, so he'll replace Thomas Wanning, who came in for Cale Giddings. So Cale Giddings in his first start of the year goes 1 for 3 at the plate before he was replaced by Thomas Wanning. will now be sat down for the day as Joey Levitt comes to start the top of the ninth.
Levitt getting ready for another inning of work. Came in to start off the 7th inning, relief of John Crawford, who went 6 strong. So like you mentioned, Lincoln Reed coming in after getting his pitch ran for after his first hit of the season. Lincoln got to start at catcher last night, his first start of the year at catcher. So now we're going to see Lincoln over at first. Now Terry Hoodoo, the Ironmen, have come into play to start off the top of the 9th.
Coming to start the top of the ninth for the Lorain County Ironmen will be the 3-4-5 batters. Zach Zybert, he is 0 for 1 today, has a walk and a sacrifice. And then Cole Nito, the right fielder, as the rain's beginning to come down here at Grady's field.
It was only a matter of time.
Nito's 0 for 3. He flew out to foul territory. Caleb Giddings at first base last time. And then Brooke Clark, the third baseman, he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Flew out to Lee Solomon at short last time. Remember, we have field turf here so we can play through rain. We'll see how long the teams go.
First pitch from Levitt. In there, strike 1 to Zach Zybert. Hit a sac fly. His last time up was walked on in the 4th. Now the 0-1. And that one's fouled out of play. Puts it to 0-2 on Zybert.
And the rain's picking up now, as you can see on your computer screens. Looks like maybe a little wind, too.
Now the 0-2. Swung on and missed. And caught there from Zach Wiley. So that'll be the first strikeout of the game for Joey Levitt.
Right fielder.
Levitt has yet to give up a
Cole
hit
Nito.
for 2 1/3 innings of pitching so far. And it's still pouring out there. It looks like the ump's going to call it. He's going to send the teams to the dugouts. So we have a rain delay here in the top of the 9th inning. We lasted so long, Lance, but it looks like we're not going to get out of this one without a rain delay. So we're going to step aside while the rain subsides. The stream will keep going. But going to the top of the 9th, we're still scoreless, folks. It's 0-0. It's been a pitching battle between these two teams. Chris McDonald has gone 8 innings strong for the Lorain County Ironmen. He's had 6 strikeouts, only gave up 4 hits. The Scouts have had the 2-team tandem of John Crawford, who went 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits, and Joey Levitt has gone 2 1/3 so far. Hasn't given up a hit yet. So 2 outs away from the bottom of the 9th.
And you got to think, even after this rain delay, you got to think the day's done for McDonald after what could potentially be a pretty long layoff between innings.
Yeah, last time we had a rain delay, it was against the Copperheads, and that time after the rain subsided, it was about a 5, maybe 10-minute storm. We had about a 15-minute delay after the rain stopped. So I'd assume maybe if the rain stops here soon, 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes of the delay. Haven't heard anything about lightning in the forecast. Trying to look it up right now. See if we have anything going on. Southern Ohio definitely getting hit by this storm.
Definitely. So until we know more, we will keep our stream going, but stay tuned for us right here, and also stay tuned to our social media accounts for updates. And we're back here after about a 13-minute rain delay. Started at 9:13. It's now 9:26. Had a little downpour, but no lightning in the area. And we'll get ready to resume action here. It's the top of the ninth inning. 1 out already recorded after Zach Zybert went down on strikes. It'll bring Cole Nito up to the plate for the Ironmen. We thank you for sticking with us here through the rain delay. No score on the board between the Ironmen and the Xenia Scouts. I'm Lance Morris alongside Terry Lash. As we bring you live coverage of every single Xenia Scouts game here on our Google YouTube Hangout. You can, of course, find us at xeniascouts.com. Find us on all the social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
It's just been a pitching duel here as we're about to start back up.
First pitch misses inside from Joey Levitt. He goes back out on the mound, resuming his third inning of work. Now the 1-0. And that one's fouled out of play. Evens it up at 1-1.
Scouts have not seen extra innings once this season. We'll see if tonight is that first night.
Now the 1-1. That one's popped up. We'll see if that one will stay in play. That one will just get out of play. Hits over the top overhead. Puts the count at 1-2.
A great hustle from Zach Wiley, huffing and puffing on that sprint all the way towards the backstop. Just out of play before the catcher can make a play on that one.
So 1-2 to Cole Nito out of Baldwin Wallace. Now the 1-2 pitch. And he checks swings, but that one's going to be a ball. And got to assume that's a ball because umpire didn't make any motion about it being strike three. Evens it up at 2-2.
I think the Scouts are lucky he didn't swing at that one because it would have been a strikeout, but that ball bounced all the way to Wiley's left. And I think Nita could have easily been there on first on the drop third strike.
So 2-2, the count to Nito. And the pitch. That one's hit to Solomon over at short. It just gets over his head and will be a base hit. He'll stay at first. Has a little bit of an off throw to the infield, but they'll nonetheless keep Nito at first after the base hit.
That'll be the first hit of the day, given up from Joey Levitt, who's coming for relief.
Baseman number 20,
First of the day for Nito.
So now Brooke Clark will come up to the plate with Nito over on first. Flew out to Solomon in his last at-bat. First pitch. Low, ball 1.
Last time we had some rain, David Gollins, the player of the game, we asked him afterwards, what's it like to play out there on the turf after it rains? And he says it's very, very fast.
Now the 1-0. That one misses in the dirt. Good job by Wiley. Kept that one in front of him. Didn't allow Nito to even think about advancing from first.
Field turf already plays faster, so grounders are coming towards the infielders at a quicker rate. The rain is just going to slide the ball along with a little bit more velocity to see if they can keep up there in the field.
Now the 2-0. That'll be grounded weakly towards Carnahan at third. We'll go over to Lincoln at first for the out, but that will advance Nito over to second.
So another throw from Kyle Carnahan, who's been great all day on the hot corner. And now 2 down, but a runner in scoring position.
So Nick Barron up to the plate. Flew out to Levi Gilcrease in his last at-bat back in the 7th inning. First pitch to Barron. Lined right back up the middle for a base hit, but it's stopped by Binger, and they weren't aware of that. So great stop from Christian Binger. I think that kept them from trying to score a run.
That could have saved the game there, Lance. It would have only been a go-ahead run, but the Scouts can't score in the bottom of the half of the inning. That's 1-0. Christian Binger going all out on that dive. Second time today we've seen him go all out on a dive, and he was able to keep Nito over there at third. Just an unbelievable play. He's not going to go for out. It'll be an infield single. But you can't even put enough emphasis on what a play Christian Binger just made over there at second base.
So a quick meeting at the mound with the infield and Coach Cates. And there is still some action out in the bullpen.
Ben Aldridge still out there.
So the Scouts will have an unplanned off day tomorrow. They were originally supposed to face off with Grand Lake, and with the weather, decided to change things up and are now coming here on Friday for a doubleheader. So now that opens up the possibilities for the pitchers for the Scouts.
A little bit. You see if some relievers that usually would only go an inning or two might go 3 or 4. We don't know how long this game is going to go. We're in the top of the ninth, scoreless with runners on the corners. But if it does happen to go to extras, that's something that the Scouts are going to think about. They have a depleted bullpen as is. Nick Street coming off of labrum surgery, still rehabbing. Then Seth Hallmark recently had a shoulder injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks, unfortunately. So Scouts, who do have a new pitcher coming in, stay tuned to XeniaScouts.com on our roster page. As soon as we find that one out, we'll let you know.
So AJ Clean will be coming up to the plate. It's 0 for 3 so far today. Runners in the corners, 2 down. It's the top of the ninth. First pitch to Klein. Popped up in right field towards Miles Wright. He backpedals, and he'll get under that one for the final out of the ninth inning. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Still zeros across the board for both sides.
So just a la John Crawford, the Scouts getting a little bit of trouble. Joey Levitt this time, but works his way out of it. Again, what a play by Christian Binger over at second, diving in the gap right by second base, just getting his glove on the stickies of that baseball and getting it quickly, throwing it in before Cole Nita could come around to score the go-ahead run. And that left the runners on first and third. They both got left stranded after the fly out to Miles Wright. And it looks like who else?
He is coming back
but
out.
Chris McDonald coming for his 9th inning of work. This will be the first time Lance and I have seen a pitcher go all 9 innings for either team. Any team, no Scout has gone 9 innings, and no one the Scouts have faced have gone innings. So this will be the first complete game for any pitcher we've seen.
And there does appear to be somebody getting loose out in the bullpen for the Ironmen. We'll tell you who that is once we know who it is. But yeah, I think Q might have been able to go the distance if he had gotten the start on Sunday. But with the way fate dealt it, he came in the second inning.
So McDonald has been stellar through 8 innings of play so far. And he's had 6 strikeouts and 4 hits given up only so far in the game.
I think I see Sam Williams out there warming up in the bullpen for the Ironmen. We'll let you know if that amounts to anything, but getting ready to start the bottom of the ninth. And Terry, who do the Scouts have coming to the plate?
Coming for the Scouts to start their 4th time, and their order will be Lee Solomon, the shortstop, is 0 for 3 today. And then Christian Binger, who is 1 for 3 with a single. And then Kyle Carnahan, who is 1 for 2, who is also hit by a pitch.
Lee Solomon coming up to the plate. Still zeros on the board for both the Ironmen and the Scouts. First pitch to Solomon. Lined over to Durham at short. Go over to Barron at first. They're going to say stayed on the bag over at first. And it looked like he might have gotten off to extend, but they're going to say he was on for the first out of the inning.
And you know, first base because Zach Gilcrease not happy with that call. He definitely thought the Barron stepped off of it. We already saw one error today on Durham who threw Barron off the bag.
First pitch to Binger. Outside, ball 1. And we saw a little bit of game-winning magic from Christian Binger back against the Locos. Had a game-winning 2 RBI single. That next one's fouled out of play. Evens up at 1-1. Now the 1-1. Just missed on that one. Puts the count at 2-1. Now the 2-1. Fouled back. That'll even it up at 2 apiece. Two and two to count to Christian Binger. Kyle Carnahan on deck. Now 2-2. Swung on and missed. That'll be the second time in a row Binger will go down on strikes.
And after pitch 91 of the day for Chris McDonald, he is still as sharp as ever. Now has struck out 7 in this game through 8 2/3 inning pitched.
Kyle Carnahan now to the plate. First pitch to him. It's the line towards Durham. He goes across his body to get in front of it. And he's safe at first. Good hustle from Kyle Carnahan to beat out that one. The Scouts will have a runner on first with David Gaunt coming to the plate.
So Kyle Carnahan's had a great day at the plate now, 2 for 3, also hit by a pitch, so he's been on 3 out of 4 times. Again, what a play by Shea Durham over there, short, sliding on his knees, throwing across his body. But Kyle Carnahan able to beat that one out. That's going to send up David Gaunt, who singled his last time up.
Monique Yabata at the plate, 1 on the bases. First pitch to Gaunt in there, strike 1, low at the knees.
Gaunt does have 4 home runs on the year to lead all 11 teams in the Great Lakes League. Just throwing that out there.
Now the 0-1. In the dirt, Gaunt did a good job holding off on that one. Carnahan doesn't think about advancing. Evens up the count at 1-1.
That was a good job by A.J. Klain, because if that one gets to the backstop, Carnahan's over there at second base in scoring position with Gaunt at the plate, and a single probably brings him home to score.
1-1 the count to David Gaunt.
1 run's all the Scouts need to come away from this rainy game with a victory.
Now the 1-1. Big hack at that one and missed. 1-2. Count to David Gaunt. His Washburn teammate Kyle Carnahan over at first.
As we mentioned, have not gone to extras this year for the Scouts. We're 1 strike away.
And the pitch. Swung on and missed from David Gaunt. So we're going to be going to the 10th inning. First time in extras this year for the Scouts.
So a complete game from Chris McDonald. 9 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 4 hits given up, and 0 earned runs. Just an unbelievable day on the rubber from the pitcher from Hillsdale College after he had a solid day yesterday over there at first base. And Joey Leva's going to come out for his 4th inning. The most Leva's ever pitched in a game this season was 3 innings. So as long as he gets this out, he will surpass that total here in relief.
So now we're going to extra innings. We'll start off the 10th inning here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, in the complex of athletes in action. We thank all of you who are sticking around for the extra inning ball game, our first of the season. I'm Lance Morris alongside Terry Lash. We bring you live coverage for every single Xenia Scouts baseball game right here on our Google/YouTube Hangout page. You can also find us on xeniascouts.com and also all of our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, Terry, as we get set to start off the 10th inning, who do the Ironmen have coming to the plate?
Coming up for the Iron will be the 8-9-1 batters, Elias Aguirre. Shea Durham has been a monster at shortstop today, and then back to the top of the order for the 5th time in this ball game of Jeff Edwards.
Elias Aguirre up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch at him from Levitt. Breaking pitch in there on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Now the 0-1 to Aguirre. He'll show bunt, pulls it back, but it's strike 2 anyway.
So Joey Levitt going right at him and showing no signs of fatigue as we go to double-digit innings here.
0-2 the count to Aguirre for 3 on the ball game. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled that one off towards the first base line. We'll try again at 0-2.
Only 5 hits given up for both of these teams through 9 innings. Absolutely spectacular job at the mound.
The 0-2 pitch. He'll just barely foul that one off. So we'll try once again at 0-2 after he fouls 2 off. So McGuire 0 for 3 today. He had a big game yesterday, went 3 for 4 with a couple doubles.
And those were his first hits of the season so far. Gordy not getting much experience coming into yesterday and showing what he was worth. Another ram from Angelo State.
The 0-2 is in there. Strike 3. Got him looking. Great curveball from Levitt.
That'll be his second strikeout of the day. First time they get
Rounding off
the Iron Man looking. Joey Levitt still looking sharp as darkness surrounds us here at Grady's Field.
Shade Durham, the number 9 hitter, up to the plate. First pitch to him is grounded towards Solomon at short. We'll go over to Lincoln Reed at first for the second out of the inning.
So 0 for 4 now is Shade Durham, who struggled at the plate but has been great in the field. And that's going to bring up Jeff Edwards from Valpo. Last time he grounded to that 4-6-3 double play. He's 2 for 4 today.
Jeff Edwards up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to him. Just missed up high. Ball 1. Now the 1-0. Just misses low on that one. 2-0 the count to Edwards.
Only 3 walks on the day for the Scouts, all given up by John Crawford, who pitched 6.
2-0. Line towards Solomon at short, and he catches that one for the final out of the top half of the 10th. Still zeros all across the board. So now we get set to start the bottom of the 10th inning. And it looks like we'll find another one coming in. It'll be finally the end of the day for Chris McDonald. It'll be Jamie McLean coming in from Anglo State University. So that's the third guy from Anglo State in the ball game.
Jamie McLean.
And he's from Canada, Lance? He's from Nova Scotia, Canada. So he made quite a trek for Nova Scotia, which is in eastern Canada, right above the New England area of the United States. And he traveled all the way down to by Lubbock, Texas, and San Angelo.
And it looks like Jonathan Bravo is going to come in and pinch hit.
So Jonathan Bravo will replace Wyatt Hogan in left field. Yep. The 5, 6, 7 batters coming up. Here in the bottom of the 10th.
So that'll end the day for Wyatt Hogan. Went 0 for 3 today after having one of the only RBI yesterday against the Ironmen.
Lincoln Reed and Jonathan Bravo, the only subs today for the Scouts, as Austin Orr, normally a shortstop, still been battling that shoulder injury, will be out a few more weeks. And they used the first one earlier on Lincoln Reed after Thomas Wanning came in a pinch run for Cale Ginnings in the bottom of the 8th. And now Jonathan Bravo coming in for Wyatt Hogan to hit in the 5-hole here and will replace him in left field.
So it will be Bravo, Gilcrease, and Reed coming up to the plate.
Johnny Bravo.
So this will be Bravo's first plate appearance on the day. Did have one of the 4 hits against the Ironmen last night. First pitch to him. Outside, ball 1.
So McLean misses on his first one. He's a lefty.
Next one to him. Just barely fouled that one off. I think that one might have hit off the catcher.
So yesterday went 8 innings of a lefty, then 1 inning of a righty. So far, the Scouts have faced all righty and righty Chris McDonald. So now going to the bottom of the 10th, their first chance to face a lefty here in Jamie McLean.
The 1-1 to Bravo. Now we fouled out of play, is starting to sprinkle a little more here at Grady's Field. Now the 1-2. And that one will go down the first base line, just foul. So we'll try again at 1-2.
And fate is cruel for the Scouts the last couple of days. Lance, yesterday we saw the Ironmen have about 4 or 5 of those hits just sneak inside the line. This one of the closest we've seen all game for the Scouts. We had one earlier on the third base line, but that one just missing.
1-2 to count to Bravo. And the pitch. I'll leave that one outside, evens up at 2-2. Bravo, one of a few players on the team from Texas. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Bravo will go down on strikes.
So that'll be a ninth strikeout of the day for the Scouts, and the first one for Jamie.
Now batting, number 6, Levi Gilcrease.
Levi Gilcrease now to the plate. It'll show bunt, but it'll go down foul. At least he didn't pop that one up.
No, he did not. That one goes foul, and it was McLean's first look at a bunt from the Scouts this game.
So now 0-1 to Gilcrease. Reached on an error in the second inning, grounded out in the 5th, and then flew out in the 8th. Now the 0-1 pitch, way outside. They're leaving it up at 1 apiece.
Scouts have one game-winning play this year. That was against the Lima Locals, where Christian Binger's 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 9th won it. Scouts looking for more heroics at Grady tonight.
Now the 1-1. Just caught the outside corner on that one. Let's count it 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gilcrease.
McLean is coming throwing. Got Bravo swinging on the first line, trying to get his second strikeout to start his campaign here in the bottom of the 10th. He shook off a couple of pitches before he got the one he liked.
Now the 1-2. He'll foul that one back. We'll try again at 1-2. Still 1-2 to count to Gilcrease. Here in the bottom of the 10th. The 1-2. Waste pitch on the outside that time. Evens up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, trying to get Levi Gilcrease to reach for that one. But one thing about Levi, he will go down swinging, but he's going to get the most out of every single at bat.
And the 2-2. Breaking pitch. Swung on and missed. So 2 strikeouts in a row from McLean. I'll bring Lincoln Reed to the plate.
Xenia Scouts.
And this will be the first time Lincoln Reed has been out to the plate.
Lincoln Reed came in the 9th inning after Giddings was pitch ran for by Thomas Wanning. First pitch to Lincoln. Outside corner, strike 1.
Lincoln from Taylor University, converted catcher, playing first.
Now the 0-1. Swung at that one and missed, so quickly 0-2 on Lincoln Reed.
Lincoln coming into the game with a 200 batting average.
Now the 0-2. Grounded that one back to McLean at the pitcher's mound. He'll flip it over to first in time for the final out of the inning. So after 10 whole innings of play, still 0-0 between the Scouts and the Ironmen.
And no different here in the extra innings than it was in the first 9 as both teams go 1-2-3, and the pitching duel hasn't stopped. And Joey Levitt, who's already thrown 4 innings his most of the season, is going back for his 5th. I don't see any activity in the bullpen, so this might almost be like the start for Levitt. See how long he can go. Rest day tomorrow. So he probably won't play in the doubleheader on Friday against the Grand Lake Mariners right here at Grady's Field. A 7-inning game and a 9-inning one that starts at 4:05. Maybe they'll rest him for the doubleheader on Sunday against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club.
So Levitt will be back out there once again. Started off the 7th inning. So has pitched pretty well since then. Has, of course, not allowed any runs to come across. Just 5 hits for each side. 1 error also for each side in what has been classified as a pitcher's duel here at Grady's Field.
And fielding extraordinaire displayed by both teams. Shea Durham, the shortstop for the Lorain County Ironmen, has been making play after play. We've seen it from Lee Solomon, short for the Scouts, and Christian Binger at second as well. We also saw a nice catch by Miles Wright back in the first, which seems like forever ago now.
Cody Calloway up to the plate. First pitch to him, and there for strike one. Calloway, the DH today, played shortstop last night. Now the 0-1. He'll ground that one over to Solomon at short. We'll go over to Lincoln Reed in time for out number one. And a good scoop there from Lincoln.
Now Lincoln bringing out his shovel on that one to dig it out of the dirt. Could have been a leadoff runner and Cody Calloway, but not so fast as Lincoln Reed is going to sit him down.
So we're back to the player who led off the ninth inning, and Zach Zybert. He struck out to lead off that ninth inning. First pitch to Zybert. Inside, just missed, ball one.
Levitt has only given up 2 hits so far in the third innings of pitching. That one went a little bit high for a ball.
2-0 the count to Zybert, the left fielder from Lee University. His teammate Shea Durham at Lee has made a lot of good plays over at short. That one is lined towards center field. We'll see if Gilcrease can get to that one. And he can. Gilcrease can cover just about anywhere you ask out in center field as he catches that one for out number 2.
The right fielder, number 16.
So 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 11th inning. And Joey Levitt has still remained in control and still no activity in the Scouts bullpen. Levitt has now thrown 43 pitches after that first pitch swinging from Zybert.
Colnito up to the plate. First pitch to him. Just missed inside, ball one, and Nito had a hit back in the ninth inning. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Stranded at third. The 1-0. Popped up. That one looks like it'll go out of play, and it will. They'll leave it up at 1-1.
Remember, the only reason Nito didn't score what would have been the game-winning run was because of the unbelievable dive from his left to his right from Christian Binger and threw it home to Zach Wiley to make sure he stayed over there at third.
1-1 to Nito, and the pitch from Levitt. Grounds that one over to Binger at second. Go over to Lincoln Reed at first in time for the final out of the top half of the 11th. So down go the Ironmen 1, 2, 3 in both of the extra innings thus far.
Joey Levitt is still pitching a gem. Lance and I were talking about who the player of the game might be, and we thought John Crawford had a really compelling case. He pitched 6 innings strong, didn't give up an earned run, had 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 hits. Now through 5 innings of pitching, Joey Levitt has had 2 strikeouts, so he's only given up 2 hits and no walks, and hasn't given up a run either. As we go to 11 to see if the Scouts can pull off some heroics.
And so now we get set for the bottom of the 11th here. Still 0-0 between the Lorain County Ironmen and the Xenia Scouts. We thank you for sticking with us through the late innings. We getting set to start the bottom half of the 11th. And Terry, who do the Scouts have coming up to the plate?
Coming up for the Scouts is the 8-9-1 batters. First will be Zach Wiley, the catcher. He is 0 for 3 today, grounded out to short last time. Then Miles Wright, the right fielder, also grounded out to short last time. And then we're back to the top of the lineup for the 5th time in the ball game to Lee Solomon, who also grounded out to short last time.
So lots of ground outs to short. We'll see if the Scouts can buck that trend this inning. It'll be Wiley to lead off this inning for the Scouts. And back last week, Zach donned a mustache, and he said, I'm only going to shave when I have a bad game, and then he went 2 for 4 and shaved it anyway. What's the deal with that, Terry?
I don't know. It still hurts a little bit, Lance, but Zach Wiley can make it feel a little bit better if he could get on base here in the bottom of the 11th.
Bottom of the 11th, Zach Wiley up to the plate. 0 for 3 thus far in the game. First pitch to him. And that one's popped up towards right. And Nito will get under that one for the first out of the 11th. One pitch, one out.
Right fielder number 2, Miles.
And again, this is unbelievable stat, but that's only the second ball that's been hit on the fly to the outfield in this game. And now we're in the bottom of the 11th inning. Well, only one that's been hit by the Scouts to the outfield, I should clarify.
So now Miles right up to the plate. 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. First pitch to him. He'll foul that one out of play, so 0-1 to Miles. Miles was on a tear this past weekend, went 3 for 4 last Saturday against the Steam. The 0-1. Line towards third. Clark will get under that one and get it over to Barron in time for out number 2.
Again, Nick Barron over there just getting his back heel on the bag as he was thrown off from Brooke Clark. And now 2 up, 2 down again for the Scouts here in the bottom of the 11th. And through extras, no one's able to get a hit for either of the 2 squads.
So now it'll be Lee Solomon up to the plate for the Scouts. 0 for 4 today with 1 strikeout. First pitch to him. Just outside, ball 1.
Solomon 0 for 4 today. Came in batting .345. Let's go for second on the team.
Now the 1-0. Low and inside, ball 2, 2-0 to Solomon.
Lee has 4 stolen bases on the year, so if he was able to get on first, a good situation for the Scouts.
2-0. In there, strike 1, puts the count at 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the 2-1. He'll fly that one out towards right. Nito will get under that one for the final out of the 11th inning. So after 11 innings of play, still zeros on the board between the Lorain County Ironmen and your Xenia Scouts.
A lot of free baseball here at Grady's Field. And that's because there's always free baseball here at Grady's Field, Lance. But a couple of extra innings for the Scouts and the Ironmen. The Scouts in their baby blues and home whites have yet to lose a game on their home field turf. Not afraid you get to say much in baseball. They defend their turf pretty well. But the Scouts do so here. Neither of those teams have been able to break through. We are knotted up at goose eggs going to the 12th inning of play.
Joy Levitt getting set for yet another inning of work. He had only seen a few innings of action coming into today. I think he's going to shatter that mark. Levitt came in relief of Crawford to start off the 7th inning. He's been in since that point.
And we have the 5, 6, 7 batters coming up for the Ironman. Brooke Clark, the third baseman. He is 0 for 4 today. Last time he grounded to Kyle Carnahan at third. Nick Barron, the first baseman. He singled last time in the 9th inning. And then A.J. Klain, who is 0 for 4 today, he flew out back in the top of the 9th.
It's Brooke Clark to lead it off for the Ironmen, their third baseman. First pitch to him is upstairs, ball 1. He's 0 for 3 on this day with a walk. The 1-0. That one will be way low. Wiley can't corral that one. 2-0 to Clark.
Once again, thank you for staying with us in this long game between the Scouts and the Ironmen with Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash.
The 2-0. I want to miss low. So 3-0 to Clark. Now the 3-0 pitch. That one's in there on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Puts it to 3-1 to Clark.
I believe this is only the second time that Joey Levitt has got to 3 balls.
And the 3-1. Now on a miss low, so he'll walk Clark. And so finally one of the teams gets somebody on
First
base
baseman,
in extra
number
innings.
37,
That'll be the first
Nick
walk of the
Barron.
game for Joey Levitt, who's gone 5 innings here.
So Clark over on first. Nick Barron up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to him will show bunt. He'll get the bunt down. Carnahan will go over to first in time for the out, but the sac bunt will get Clark over to second.
So perfectly laid down sack bunt that time from Nick Barron. That's going to bring to AJ Claim up for runner in scoring position, as we do start to see some activity in the Scouts bullpen again. Last time we saw activity was back in the 8th inning. We saw Ben Aldridge. Now here in the bottom of the 12th, let's see if he's still out there. And he is.
So Brooke Clark over on second base after the sac bunt from Barron. AJ Klein up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to him. Caught the outside corner on the breaking pitch, strike one. Klein is 0 for 4 on this game. 3 flyouts and 1 strikeout. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2 to Klein.
Joey does have 2 strikeouts on the day. We'd love to get number 3 right here to AJ Klein.
1-2 the count to Klein. Brooke Clark over on second. And the 0-2. Breaking pitch just misses on that one. Puts it to 1-2.
Must have been a little high when it started curving. It was a little above the strike zone. That's what I'm saying. It was definitely a close one.
1-2 the count to Klein. And they're going to check on Clark over at second. He's in there in time. Now Klein's going to adjust his cleats, it looks like. Guess you got to really make sure they're tied.
Got to here in the bottom of the 12th inning. Can't hold anything back now.
1-2 the count to Klein. Clark still over on second. The 1-2 pitch. That's popped up. Shabinger will get under that one for the second out of the inning, and that'll have Clark go back to second, not able to tag up.
That's going to bring up Elias McGuire.
Center fielder,
He is 0 for 4 today.
Aguirre.
And his last at bat was an extra inning, so now we're back to the top of when we started extras, and he struck out last time.
F4.
So McGuire up to the plate. Like you said, this is the second at bat in extras. First pitch to him. And there's strike one. Struck out his last at bat. That was in the 10th inning. Flew out and grounded out a couple at bats before that. Clark still over there at second. Gone on after the walk. The 0-1. Lined over to Christian Binger at second. Get it over to Lincoln Reed in time for out number 3. So another ground out. They'll leave a guy on at second. So after 11 and a half, we go to the bottom of the 12th. For the Scouts, still zeros across the board.
And that time the Ironman threatened after the leadoff walk to Brooke Clark, and the perfectly lay down sacrifice bunt by Nick Barron. Looked like the Scouts were in a little bit of trouble, but Joey Levitt works his way out of it and has now thrown 6 innings, so he's matched John Crawford for innings pitched, as 2 strikeouts to his 3, 1 walk to his 3, and 2 hits to his 3. So through 12 innings, only 5 hits given up by the Scouts. A pitching performance for the ages.
And I think I saw a couple guys down in the Scouts dugout that weren't dressed originally putting on uniforms. And I think I saw Dylan Donnelly put his on just in case he is needed. So it doesn't mean necessarily going to come into the game, but some guys who originally thought were not going to come into the game may have a chance during these extra innings. It's now getting set to start the bottom of the 12th. Terry, who do we have coming up to the plate?
Coming up for the Scouts here in the bottom of the 12th inning will be the 2-3-4 batters and Christian Binger, Kyle Carnahan, and Dave Gaunt. Last time Christian was up was back in the 9th inning, and he struck out. Kyle Carnahan singled back in the bottom of the 9th, and then David Gaunt struck out to end the 9th inning.
So Christian Binger set to lead it off for the Scouts. Has done well his last couple innings in the field. Had a lot of ground outs towards him in these few extra innings. First pitch to him. Tad low, ball one. Binger has struck out his last 2 at-bats after getting a hit to start the first inning.
This will be McLean's 3rd inning of action. Still hasn't given up a hit yet.
1-0 just catches the outside corner. Strike one evens up at 1-1.
2 strikeouts for Jamie.
1-1. Binger will foul that one out of play. Puts the count at 1-2.
On the day, Binger is 1 for 4. He did single all the way back in the 1st inning, so 11 whole innings ago.
Now the 1-2. Breaking pitch just misses the outside corner. Puts it at 2-2. Binger does lead the team in walks with 8 on the season. The 2-2 pitch. Misses outside. Full count, 3-2, and that'll be the first full count we've seen from McLean.
And he's been working quickly through the batters, but the patient Binger making him throw some more pitches.
Now the payoff. Swung on and missed by Christian Binger. That'll be his 3rd strikeout in a row.
And 3rd strikeout of the day.
Third baseman number
For
16,
Jamie
Kyle
McLean.
Carnahan.
Kyle Carnahan will come up to the plate. He did get a hit in his last at-bat in the 9th inning. Also had a hit back in the 4th. First pitch to him. Fouled back towards us. So 0-1 to Kyle Carnahan. The 0-1. Fouls that one back towards us again. 0-2 on Carnahan. His Washburn teammate David Gaunt on deck. Ready to go.
And his college year at Angelo State, only 3 inning pitch for McLean.
The 0-2 is Carnahan. Hit that one well down towards left field. But Zybert able to get under that one in time for the 2nd out of the inning. Just not quite enough on that one from Carnahan.
And I got excited. Lands a little bit prematurely. Carnahan got a lot of that one, but not enough. And it'll be put away in left center.
So they'll bring his Ichabod teammate up to the plate. And David Gaunt had a hit back in the 7th inning, but struck out to end the 9th. First pitch to Gaunt. Takes on the outside corner for strike one. Now the 0-1. Swung on and missed at that one from Gaunt. Now 0-2 the count.
Again, just great pitching we've seen from both squads. The Ironmen had just been so dominant out there on the mound between McDonald and McLean.
The 0-2 pitch. Popped up high in the air. This one was just barely get out of the infield. And Aguirre just got under that one in time for the final out of the 12th inning. So after 12 full innings of play here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, still nothing on the board, 0-0 between the Ironmen and the Scouts.
It's absolutely unbelievable, Lance. It's one thing to go to the 13th inning of play. That's unusual in itself. But to do so with only 5 hits on the board for both of these teams, it's just incredible. Both of these teams have got 5 hits in a single half inning before in the season. That's all they've gotten through 12 full innings. As Joey Levitt, the Iron Man Joey Levitt, is coming out for his 7th inning of relief pitching.
It's absolutely right, Terry. Joey getting set for another inning of work. Came in back in the 7th inning in relief of starter John Crawford. And Levitt's done very well since then. Has only given up just 1 hit, actually 2 hits. But he's done very well since coming in the 7th inning.
So this is practically a start for Joey Levitt as he's going to his 7th inning of pitching. Coming to the game, the most he's pitched in relief was 3 innings. He's going to more than double that as soon as he records his first out here in the 13th.
Shea Durham up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to him, and there's strike 1.
Durham, the last man of the order for the Ironmen. He's 0 for 4 in this game. Grounded Lee Solomon back in the 10th.
The 0-1. Breaking pitch caught the inside corner. Strike 2. Great breaking ball there from Levitt.
Now what curve from Joey, still showing he's going full throttle.
The 0-2. Another breaking pitch. That one misses inside. 1-2 to count.
Try the exact same pitch. Try to catch the inside corner again, but that time couldn't find it.
1-2 to Shea Durham. The 1-2 pitch.
Yes.
Was looking at that one, but it just misses. Evens it up at 2-2. And the 2-2. And that one's lined down the left field line. Fair. He's going to be rounding first, heading for second. Bravo gets to that one. He'll throw that one in. And that'll be a stand-up double from Shea Durham.
That'll be the second double of the game for the Ironman, as Jeff Edwards having all the way back in the top of 6th inning. And speak of the devil, Jeff Edwards up again.
Jeff Edwards.
Jeff Edwards now up to the plate for the Ironmen. He's got 2 hits on the day. Had a hit back in the 1st and then the ground rule double in the 6th. First pitch to Edwards. He's not going to bunt, as we might have thought. Levitt's going to look him back at second and goes over to first. And a great scoop there from Lincoln to get the out. And Dewey, our PA announcer, says that will cost him. We'll see if that comes to fruition.
I think Coach Dewey Doval here is absolutely right. I can't believe that they didn't try to lay down a bunt in that situation, because it would advance the runner to third, and a sac fly would be the go-ahead run.
So 1 out here, top half of the 13th. Cody Calloway up to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to him. Outside corner, strike 1. 1-1 the count to Cody Calloway. Durham on second after the double. Just the 3rd hit Levitt has given up in his relief innings. Time is called.
Cody Calloway in this one 1 for 4.
Now the 0-1. Swung on and missed at that breaking pitch. Good pitch there from Levitt. 0-2 to count to Calloway.
Joey looking for that 3rd strikeout here in the top of the 13th.
0-2 the count to Calloway. The pitch. And he'll grind that one down to 3rd, but it's going to go foul, so we'll try and get it 0-2. Zeros on the board here as we are in the top of the 13th inning. 0-2 the count now to Cody Calloway, the number 2 hitter, playing the DH role. The 0-2 pitch. Now one hit Calloway. So now he'll get a free pass down to first, and then he'll have runners on first and second with 1 down.
15, Zach Zyber.
And that's an unfortunate situation, as Joey Levitt was up in the count. He's trying to get his 3rd strikeout of the day, and he hits Calloway. And now runners on first and second, but that does set up the double play ball, which we've seen a couple of times in this game.
Infield at double play depth. One down. Runners on first and second. Zach Zybert up to the plate. First pitch to him. Outside corner. Strike one on the curveball from Levitt.
Zybert flew out to Levi Gilcrease in center last time.
So Durham over on second. Callaway on first. And the 0-1. Lined towards Carnahan at third. He'll go over to second for one. And misplayed by Lincoln Reed at first. And that's going to score the first run of the ball game on the error from Lincoln.
Oh, and that's an absolute heartbreaker, Lance. An absolute heartbreaking turn of events. It looked like it was going to be a 5-4-3 double play to end the top of the 13th, and it turns into an error and a run for the Ironman. Absolutely heartbreaking.
First run of the game scored for either team, coming on the top of the 13th. Now Nito up to the plate. First pitch to him. Outside. Ball one.
And you got to feel out there for Joey Levitt.
The 1-0. That one's flown over towards Miles right and right. I'll get onto that one for the final out of the inning, but not before the Lorain County Ironmen get their first run of the ball game off of an error in the field by the Scouts.
And Scouts are going to have to do something that they haven't done in the first 12 innings of play, and that's get a runner across the plate by any means necessary.
So now McLean will be out here for another inning of work. This will be his fourth inning of work. He came in to start the 10th. And now Terry, who will the Scouts have coming up to try and tie this ball game up?
We have the 5, 6, 7 batters in the rotation, which is a lot different than we had when we started the game, because now Jonathan Bravo is going to have his second plate appearance as he replaced Wyatt Hogan in left field back in the 10th inning. Then Levi Gilcrease, who's played all game at center field. Both those players struck out their last times in the 10th inning. And then Lincoln Reed will have his second plate appearance. He grounded out to McLean at the pitcher's mound to end that bottom of the 10th. And Lincoln Reed didn't come in until the top of the 9th inning, after in the bottom of the 8th, Cale Giddings, who got on with a single, was replaced by pinch runner Thomas Wanning. And then Lincoln Reed replaced him in the field in the top of the 9th. So it's up to those three guys to try to tie this one up and extend the game.
Number 7, Johnny Bravo.
Jonathan Bravo now up to the plate for the Scouts. He struck out back in his first plate appearance in the 10th. First one to him misses outside, ball one.
Through 3 innings, Jamie McLean has 0 hits and 3 strikeouts. He's been fabulous.
The 1-0. Misses low, ball two. 2-0 the count to Bravo.
As we mentioned before, the Scouts have had their backs against the wall before, down 2 runs in the top of the 9th against the Locos last Sunday, as that one goes for a ball.
2-0 was the count, and now it's 3-0 after that one got away from Klein behind the plate.
And they were able to score 3 runs in that bottom of the 9th to win the game 6-5.
The 3-0 pitch in there for strike one. 3-1 the count now to Jonathan Bravo.
Definitely was holding there. Wondering if he's going to get the red light again. Try to see if he can draw that leadoff walk.
And the 3-1. He is swinging at that one. It's just fouled down the third base line. Puts it to 3-2, a full count.
This game started at 7:30 after I started late because of rain all day long. We're at 10:20 now, almost to our third hour of baseball.
3-2 pitch, and he missed low on that one, so he'll walk Jonathan Bravo, first runner on base in extra innings for the Scouts.
Yeah, first runner on base since the bottom of the 9th when Kyle Carnahan had a single. That's going to bring out Levi Gilcrease and Jonathan Bravo. A good substitution earlier for Wyatt Hogan. Not just to give him some rest, but he has a lot more speed on the base pass.
First pitch to Gilcrease. He's swinging at that one and misses. So Bravo over on first definitely has some speed if he's called on to move. The 0-1 to Gilcrease. Thought about that one, but held up. He was
Good
up at
check
1-1.
there, because that would have been a bad strike, too, if he would have tried to go upstairs of that fastball.
So Bravo over on first after being walked. The 1-1 pitch. That one's skied high in the air. We'll see if that one will stay in play. And it'll be caught by Barron in foul territory for the first out at the bottom of the 13th.
So now the Scouts are down to their last 2 outs.
Number 20,
And now the double play ball that would end the game is in effect for Lincoln Reed, who has into a number of double play balls this year.
So Lincoln Reed up to the plate. He grounded out to the pitcher in his first at bat in the 10th. Bravo still over on first. 1 down. Scouts trail 1-0. That one's skied out of play. 1-1 now to Lincoln.
Lincoln in second, grounded it back to Jamie McLean earlier in the 10th inning. He had to jump up and grab that one.
And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Late on that one was Lincoln Reed. Now 0-2 the count.
Lincoln, a 3-year scout, we're going to have to ask him if he's ever played in a longer game than this one in his time with the Scouts.
And the 0-2. Fouls that one back. He'll stay alive at 0-2.
They have not thrown Jonathan Bravo with a steal towards second yet. Haven't seen A.J. Clean's arm all game long.
Now the 0-2. And he got him looking on the outside corner. That one's going to hurt. That'll be the second out of the 13th.
And he took his sweet time calling the third strike on that one. It was very close, and then finally the fist pump from the up, single and strikeout. And the fourth strikeout in his 4th inning of relief here for Jamie McLean. And that's going to bring up Zach Wiley, who needs to get his first hit of the game if the Scouts want to keep this one alive.
So Bravo still on first after the walk. First pitch to Wiley. It's popped up. We'll see if that one will stay in play. And it will, but Barron tried to slide and get to that one, and luckily he didn't, and Wiley will stay alive.
Wiley has struck out looking, grounded to third, grounded to short, and then flew out to right field back in the bottom of the 11th.
So Bravo still over at first for the Scouts. 0-1 the count to Wiley. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2 the count to Wiley. Scouts now down to their last strike. Bravo with the lead off at first. Clean comes to his set. Bravo's on the move, and they're going to try and pick him off. He's going to be there without a throw, so Bravo does steal second. So they do have a runner in scoring position, but the count 0-2 to Wiley.
That gives some hope for the Scouts, and you're saying there's a chance, Lance. Bravo over there at second base.
The 0-2 to Wiley. He just got a piece of that one. He'll stay alive once again at 0-2.
First extra innings game of the year for the Xenia Scouts, and has gone 13 here under the bright lights at Grady's Field.
Bravo over on second after the steal. The 0-2 to Wiley. Line to that one over to Edwards at second. He's going to get it up in time. He's just out at first base. And that'll end the game on a questionable call at first.
Unreal. Just so close. Jonathan Edwards struggled to pick that one out of the field turf. And then throws to first base to just get Zach Wiley. And that, what a heartbreaker. What a heartbreaker. Wait a minute! Wait a second!
They're going to appeal and say safe?
Never mind.
What did the umpire signal?
There is some definite confusion right now. What is happening here?
They're sending Bravo back to third, it looks like. It looks like this game's still on.
Wait, what?
What is happening right now?
I
Are we going to play
think the
more
umpire
baseball?
overturned it.
Wait, what?
They're going to say first and third. The game's still on, guys.
Why is he at first? Why is he go back to third? Timeout. This makes no
And we need some explanation up
We
here.
do.
Not really
We're-
sure what's going on, but looks like the game's still playing.
Third.
And Bravo's going to be back at third. Wiley's going to be at first.
So that's heartbreaking for both teams because if they're giving the single to Zach Wiley at first, Jonathan Bravo was coming across the plate to tie it up. So that's unfortunate for the Scouts. Great that the game's still continuing. Unfortunate for the Ironmen because this game was over. This game was dead and was just resuscitated back to life here in the bottom of the 13th.
We're going to need an explanation on that one after this, regardless of the outcome. All we know, runners at first and third, Miles Wright up to the plate,
Now
2
batting,
down.
the right fielder, number 2, Miles
And how do you
Wright.
shake that one off if you're the Ironman? And that had to be overturned by the home plate umpire. It was a close play. Wow. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before in all my years of watching baseball. The final out of a 13-inning game overturned.
First pitch to Miles, way up high, ball 1. And the fans definitely got their way after yelling and hooting and hollering for that one on a close play to end the game. And it's overturned apparently by the home plate umpire.
And it looks like we might have a base running substitution. We will. And it looks like Austin Orr.
Austin Orr.
Austin Orr's going to come in the game at first base. He's been out with that shoulder injury. He's unable to bat or field, but I guess he can base
Number
run.
9, Austin
So
Orr.
Austin Orr, I don't know what percent he would be health-wise, but he's going to go over there to first base.
So Union for Union over there at first as Austin Orr will check in for his Union teammate, Zach Wiley. So a little more speed on the base pass if it's necessary because he's definitely faster than Zach.
Which means he would have to come in DH. They would move
They'd have to move
David.
Lincoln or David to
catcher.
around, yeah.
They have to do a lot of finagling.
But they need to get a run on the board first, Harry. Next one of Miles. He swings at that one and misses. That'll even it up at 1 apiece with runners on the corners.
If you're just tuning in, you missed out. This was a dead ball game. The last hour is recorded and then overturned by the home plate up on an infield single from Zach Wiley.
The 1-1. Now it's fouled out of play. 1-2 the count on Miles Wright, and the Scouts down once again to their last strike of the game. Miles 0 for 4 today, so this would be a great time to come through with a base knock. The umpire's going to call time real quick. Again, 0-2. The count to Miles Wright. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the 13th. The 1-2. That's lined in the gap for a base hit. That's going to score a run to tie the game from Miles Wright. Austin Orr is going to advance to third. Runners on the corners. Tie ball game.
And I've seen it all, folks. I've seen a game that was called over in the 13th inning that was reset. And now Miles Wright with the clutch game-tying base hit here in the bottom of the 13th.
That's going to draw a meeting on the mound for McLean.
And it looks like
Looks like they're gonna
Jamie
make the call.
McLean's going to be taken out. So McLean goes 3 2/3 of 2-hit baseball. Gives up an earned run. They got a feel for Jamie because he won the game. The game was over. He was going to get a win, and then it got taken away from him. I just can't believe what's happening here, Lance.
All I know is that the tie ball game with the game-winning run on third, Terry. All the other stuff is irrelevant at this point, as crazy as it is. The Scouts are 90 feet away from winning this ball game in the 13th inning.
Dan Whitaker.
And Austin Orr, the injured shortstop, sitting there at third base as Dan Whitaker.
It's lucky he brought his uniform with him, knowing he wasn't going to play.
Yeah, it really is because they would have needed a base runner. And Dan Whitaker comes to the game. He's a 6'3" righty from Ashland University, a sophomore from Amherst, Ohio. So again, 3 2/3 from Jamie McLean.
So just to recap for those of you that are still a little confused, don't worry, we're still confused too. All we know is Zach Wiley up to the plate, hit a grounder to second base, and it was a great stop over there by Edwards at second to even stop that one. We thank all of you for tuning in through this one because we thought this game was dead and buried. Zach Wiley hits it over to second base, and a close play at first was called out by the field umpire. And then after both teams were clearing the field, the Ironmen were doing the little handshake, and we see the umpire signal in play. So then the guys go back out to their respective bases. Although Bravo had came around to score, they sent him back to third on that one. But nonetheless, after all that, the Scouts plate a run, tie the ball game up at one apiece in the 13th inning. No runs had scored before that, and it's tied 1-1. We now have Austin Orr, who pinch ran for his Union teammate Zach Wiley over at third, and Miles Wright, who had the RBI to send this game to a 1-1 tie.
And a new pitcher in Dan Whitaker. So we got everything in the kitchen sink for you on Xenia Scouts Baseball, folks. Thanks for listening to our YouTube stream here in the bottom of the 13th inning of a resuscitated ball game.
Still 2 outs, runners in the corners, Lee Solomon up to the plate. First pitch to him, Miles is on the move. And they're going to let him go because you don't want to let the game-winning run cross the plate because of that.
No, you do not.
So that'll put runners at second and third. Austin Orr at third, Miles Wright at second after the steal.
Still 2 outs here, so kind of a pointless steal for Miles.
But now it takes the force out of second out of play. Next one to Solomon is grounded over to second base. They're going to get it over to first in time for out number 3. So after all that drama, we're going to the 14th inning. Each team plates 1 run in the 13th to send this to 14th, and they're going to bring in David Gaunt to catch.
And Lance, we're already in a ball game that started late. It started at 7:30, and we were zipping through this one because it was such dominant pitching. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we were going to go to the 14th inning. I thought the game was over. It was over.
It was over.
It was over. And then it was reversed. We don't have instant replay here at Grady's Field. We have the next best thing.
We have our webcam. We have our webcam, too.
We do have a webcam. I don't know if it has a...
Don't know how clear of a view we'll get.
I don't think that's going to work well. If the YouTube stream will be posted later, we can go back and try to play it. But at least, unless YouTube videos have binoculars that can zoom in on the first baseline, I don't think that's going to be much of a help. And then finally, we have another pitching substitution as Ben Aldridge is coming to the game after Joey Levitt threw 7 innings of relief pitching.
31.
So now Ben Aldridge, Tupelo Thunder, as I like to call him, will come into the game in relief.
And I want to make this very clear. Ben Aldridge from Arkansas, Monticello.
Apparently it was called Monticello
by multiple teams this year.
Yeah.
And he tweeted about it today. I want to make sure we get that very clear here. With Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, we know about the Bull Weevils of Arkansas, Monticello. And if any of Ben's friends, family, or girlfriend back down in Mississippi are still listening to this game,
we thank you for tuning in. You're going to see some Tupelo Thunder action. So now, Terry, in the top of the 14th, who do we have coming up to the plate?
It'll be Brooke Clark, Nick Barron, and A.J. Klein for the Ironman.
Outside corner, strike 1 to Brooke Clark. He led off the 12th inning and reached on a base on balls. 0-1. One's in the dirt. That'll even it up at 1-1.
And Ben Aldridge, as the players are tired, will not be. He'll work fast as always.
And that's going to be to Ben's advantage. That 1-1 pitch misses inside for 2-1. And, yeah, that's definitely an advantage. You haven't played all the game. You're coming in the 14th inning. You're fresh, and all these guys have been playing 13 innings of baseball. Now 2-1.
Yes.
Catches the inside corner. 2-2 to count.
Ben did pitch last night only for a third of an inning. Had an error in that contest on a pickoff attempt to first base. So had a run, but it was not earned to him.
2-2 is just barely tipped away from Clark. He'll stay alive at 2-2.
Lance and I thought Ben might start the game on Friday in the doubleheader against the Grand Lake Mariners, but we have no idea what's happening at this point, folks. We're not going to lie to you.
The 2-2. That one's lined out of play. We'll try once again at 2-2.
This game was so dead, I was writing the player of the game to Lance to confer with who we're going to have in our post-game interview.
Now the 2-2. Fouled back again. Try once again at 2-2.
As we're going into our 5th extra inning here at Grady's Field.
2-2 to count to Brooke Clark in the pitch. Just barely got a piece of that one. Aldridge will field it from the pitcher's mound barehanded. Got him at time at first. Great defensive play there from Ben.
And he threw a fastball to Lincoln Reed, who sometimes catches. He caught for him yesterday. That was a perfectly placed blue hit right in front of Aldridge. Had to stop on a dime before he fired that hurler over there to Lincoln Reed to get the first out of the 14th inning.
Nick Barron up to the plate. Had a sac bunt his last at bat. That was back in the 12th. First one to him was low and inside for ball 1. And like I mentioned earlier, with guys that were, for the Scouts that were getting dressed, Will Cruz, who started last night, is in uniform as well. 2-1. Oh, is lined over to Christian at second. Over to first in time for out number 2.
So quickly 2 down. Ben Aldridge comes into the game, and he's seating the Ironman.
AJ Klein now up to the plate after the ground out there from Barron.
Klein last time flew out to second base, and Christian Binger back in the top of the 12th.
Klein up to the plate. First pitch from Ben. Breaking pitch got him on the hands. He popped that one up. And Lincoln Reed will get under that one for the final out of the top half of the 14th inning. So if we keep going, Terry, I'm going to run out of room in my book. I don't know about you.
Mine goes to 17, so hopefully
Well,
we get
you.
done behind that point. What you going on? Yours goes to 15, Lance.
Mine
So,
goes to 15.
I mean, I'm making adjustments as I go here on the fly. For those of you who want to keep a book at home, we have our point streak and stat guru Jeff Connor giving you updated stats throughout the game. You can find those on our Point Streak website. If you go to pointstreak.com, then the Great Leagues Baseball League, and then you can find the Xenia Scouts. And on our scoreboard page, you have live stats going on. And we're going to the bottom of the 14th inning, folks.
So we're going to the bottom of the 14th, like you mentioned. And Terry, who do we have coming up in the bottom of the 14th for your Scouts?
Coming up for the Scouts will be the 2-3-4 hitters in Christian Binger, Kyle Carnahan, and David Gaunt. The same side that came up in the bottom of the 12th, and that inning went a strikeout for Binger, a flyout to left for Carnahan, and a flyout to center for Gaunt.
Now Daniel Whitaker back out for another inning of work. He came in with 2 outs in the bottom of the 13th. He gets set for his second full inning of action.
Second righty of the day for the Ironman as Chris McDonald went 9 innings. He pitched a complete game of runless ball, only allowed 4 hits and had 8 strikeouts. Then Jamie McLean came in. He pitched 3 2/3 innings of one earned runs, and he had the win, and it got overturned. And he finished with 4 strikeouts and a walk and 2 hits given up. And now Dan Whitaker's pitched his third so far, and he hasn't given up any hits, has no strikeouts or no walks, as Christian Binger comes up here in the bottom of the 14th inning.
So Binger up to the plate for the 14th inning here at Grady's Field. First pitch to Christian. Fouled out of play.
And this is the only game on the Great Lakes League schedule tonight, only game on the plate because of rain delays around the league. Scouts here have field turf.
The only Christian that's flowing towards right field. And that one's off of the wall. And Christian Minger will round second. He's heading for third. And Christian Minger's going to be in there with a triple to lead off the 14th.
And you can just feel the energy here at Grady's Field, willing Christian Binger over to third base to start off the bottom of the 14th.
Next up to bat for your
The
Xenia
first
Scouts,
triple for
third
either of these
baseman
two
number
teams.
16, Kyle Carnahan.
First triple of the year for Binger.
So Christian Binger, after striking out his last 3 at-bats, comes through with a triple here in the 14th.
That one was a deep one, 400 to dead center. That one probably went about 385.
So now Kyle Carnahan up to the plate with a winning run over at third, and Christian Binger. First pitch to Carnahan. Inside, ball 1. Now the 1-0. That one's fouled out of play. Evens up at 1-1.
So all the Scouts need right now is a deep fly ball from Kyle Carnahan, and Binger will tag up and score the winning run here at the bottom of the 14th. And I don't know if there's a better player to do that than Kyle Carnahan on this team.
1-1 the count to Carnahan. Binger over on third. Pitch to him is way outside, and that's going to get away from him. And Christian Binger just scored the game-winning run in the bottom of the 14th on a wild pitch.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. The Scouts won a game that they already lost. The Scouts have come back in the bottom of the 14th inning, and on a wild pitch from Dan Whitaker have won the game after the triple to start the bottom of 14th by Christian Binger. This is things games are made of, folks. And Christian Binger will obviously be our player of the game here. We have to talk about, let's go back to the top of the ninth.
I'm laughing because it's unbelievable. This game was already over, and the Scouts somehow come back to win. It's unbelievable. There's no other way to describe it. This game was buried in the ground, 6 feet under, just waiting to put dirt on top of the coffin. And the Scouts come back and win. It's unbelievable.
A wild pitch ends a 14th inning affair. And you have to think there's a sour taste in the mouths of the Lorain County Ironmen as they have the win. We were a couple minutes into defeat. Teams were shaking hands, and then the umps conferred and then changed that call over there at first base that put runners on the corners. That was back in the 13th inning. Jonathan Bravo had to be put back to third, which was a story in itself because he was coming home to score. They ruled a dead ball over there at first base. And then Miles Wright knocked in the game-tying run at the bottom of the order in the 13th to tie it at 1 apiece. And then Christian Binger with the leadoff triple and scores on the wild pitch. And Christian Binger will be our player of the game for the second time this season. And whenever it comes to dramatic action, Christian Binger is there. And Christian's going to step in for me on the headset right now.
All right, Christian, this is the second time I've had you up here, and both of them have been crazy ends to the game. The first time it was, as a turn around this way for the camera, Christian. Okay. As the first time it was a game-winning 2 RBI single that was back against the Locos on a Sunday, and then a triple, and then you score on a wild pitch. So first, let's go back to the at-bat. What were you looking for?
Just a fastball up that I could drive. I fouled off the first pitch. I thought I was right on it, and then he gave me another one up and just put a good swing on it again.
Was it, or at any point, did you think that was going to get over the wall?
I thought for a chance, but I was like, oh, I hit that to the deepest part of the park. Maybe if I pulled it a little more, it was going to go. But, I mean, I was running hard out of the box, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I can get 3.
Yeah, Terry said off the bat it was probably 385, of course, with the deepest part of the park being about 400. So you put a good swing on the ball, you get to third base, and then you see the wild pitch happen. Just rushing through your head, what's going on? Were you looking for it right away and just knew to take off? What was going on down there?
Yeah, at third, I mean, in that situation, like I know the pitcher's in a lot of pressure, so like he can make a bad pitch. So I was just reading the ball out of his hand and seeing it, and then as soon as I saw it go by the catcher, I took off. And
going back to the rest of the game, you weren't having a great day. You had the hit in the first inning, but then 3 straight strikeouts until you had that triple in the 14th. And so that was the first time you were facing Whitaker. The other bats were against McDonald and McLean. But What was so different between those at-bats?
The fact that I didn't miss the pitch. I felt like in the previous at-bats, like the guy gave me a hittable pitch, but I fouled it off. So I put myself in the hole. And when I was just going up there, I was just trying to just be calm up there and just see it and hit it and put a good swing on it. I know I have confidence in myself, and so that's all I try to do.
Christian, you're the first player of the game to win this multiple times. It's not David Gaunt. So, Christian, great game, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
All right, thank you.
We now get Terry Lash back on the headset. We'll see if we can finagle this in a nice manner for both of us.
So try and move everything out of the way. And Lance, what can you say about that? What can you say about a 14-inning walk-off on a wild pitch after a leadoff triple on a game that was ruled over?
Terry, there's not much I can say that hasn't already been said. We've already mentioned how crazy it was. Zach Wiley was down to his last strike. After Lincoln had struck out looking for the second out of the inning, and he just barely gets a piece of the ball towards second base. Great play made by Edwards to even stop that ball, as that one looked like it could have went in the gap as well. And to have that play overruled by the home plate umpire, the base umpire called that an out, and the teams were already lining up, ready to shake hands. The teams had just finished their own handshakes, and they were about to shake each other's hands. And then you see the home plate umpire do this, signaling that the play is going on, and the guys go back to their base. Still just unbelievable. There's no other way I can qualify that.
Folks at home, I wrote down John Crawford right here as our player of the game. We're going to send down Dane, who came in to intern tonight for us, to go get him after what was seemingly going to be a crushing defeat. And then all of a sudden, we're playing more baseball. Got to talk about Miles Wright and his clutch situation with runners on first and third, 2 outs down to his last strike. Hit that RBI single to tie the game that was able to set it to the 14th inning of play before Ben Aldridge shut it down in the top half of the inning. And Christian Binger, again here at Grady's Field. He just feels the magic of Grady's Field, gets that triple, and comes across the plate. I can't believe it. It is really an unbelievable type of ball game and situation. Go back to the top of the ninth where it was because of Christian Binger diving to stop the ball going to the outfield that he threw back home that saved the run from Nito that would have been the go-ahead run. It would have ended it in 9. We wouldn't have had these 14 innings of play. It wouldn't have ended now at 10:48 and still counting us here on our YouTube web stream. Christian Binger all game long just in the field was fantastic. And then finally at the plate, he got the first hit of the ball game for the Scouts, and he got the last one, the two most important of the game. You can't storybook it any better than that for Christian Binger.
And we have to mention, you touched on it a little bit, but the fact that Miles Wright came up to the plate, the game was over before he had a chance to even come to the plate in that inning. Wiley was out at first, game was over, teams were shaking hands, but he, after all that, comes up to the plate, gets the RBI to send this game into the 14th inning. He was 0 for the world before that point. Had 2 strikeouts earlier on in the game, had a couple groundouts before that, but to have the composure up there after the game, like we said, already over. I cannot emphasize that enough. Was already over, and he has the hit to send this into another extra inning.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments, Lance. And we saw it tonight with the Scouts, and we saw it with Miles Wright at the plate, and then we saw it with Christian Binger with the triple, and we saw it with Ben Aldridge on the mound. It was 3 pitchers to get through 14 innings. Great game by John Crawford, who it seems like forever ago pitched 6 innings strong of hitless balls.
That seems like it was a game ago.
Joey Levitt came in relief, pitched 7 innings, a full game, more than double any amount he's pitched all season long. Pitched barely over 8 for the year. And then, of course, Ben Aldridge closing out the top of the 14th, and then Christian Binger sending us home with the W. I feel for the Ironmen after having taken away from them, and then going to be sent home with an L if they have an over 3-hour bus ride home that they have to be thinking about this. So what was the worst loss of the season yesterday? That 9-run loss, a 12-3 score on the Scouts loss to the Ironmen back at the Pipe Yard yesterday in Lorain County turns to what can only be described as the most unbelievable, extraordinary victory the Xenia Scouts will most likely have this season.
And it turns out guys are going to get a day off tomorrow
Absolutely.
after game tomorrow canceled. So we'll have a doubleheader on Friday against the same Grand Lake Mariners. They'll come right here to Xenia. The game will start at 4:05, and it'll be a 7-inning game, and then the second game will be a 9-inning game on our Google/YouTube Hangout. We thank all of you for tuning in, staying through what we
Rain
thought
delays,
was over.
late starts, ended baseball games. You stuck with us, so thank you for all those watching at home all around the country. I know we have listeners down in Mississippi. We have them in Texas and California. It's just unbelievable the support you guys have given Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, and it's just been such a fun year. Xenia Scouts now 9-3, the first team to 9 wins in the Great Lakes League. That's all I can say, Lance. That's all I can say about a victory like today.
An unbelievable game for an unbelievable group of guys. For the few weeks we've had here have been amazing. Can't wait for a few more weeks of this. And regardless of if the team keeps winning or not, I know it's an experience that you and I will never forget. But that being said, Scouts win 2-1, 14 innings. No game tomorrow. Doubleheader on Friday against the Grand Lake Mariners right here at Grady's Field in Xenia. We'll see you Friday. Thank you, and God bless.